New Alzheimer's drug from Japan. Hello. Hello, beautiful people. Oh my. Go live. How many times did I tell you? Hello. Welcome to the Lion's Den. It is Friday, December 2nd. My name is Robert Love. I'm a neuroscientist. I specialize in helping people prevent Alzheimer's disease with science. Today, we're going to be talking about a new Alzheimer's drug from Japan that's partnered with Biogen. And we're going to talk about that. And we're also going to talk about some scientifically validated things that a person can do to reduce their risk of Alzheimer's disease that do not involve taking pharmaceutical drugs. If you're just arriving, please put your first name and where you are from in the chat. And if you have a question, please put your first name. And it's a delight to see you. Oh my, there's 5 people on YouTube. If you want to get your question answered more quickly, I'm able to see the YouTube questions more easily. It's the same, and then the replay will be available on YouTube as well. Hello, Hillary Swede. Nice to see you. Where are you from? And then hello, Gary Fallows. Happy Friday to you. Hey, Roar. Oh, right. And if you are an evolving lion, give me a roar in the chat. Hi from SFV. Well, hello, Sugar Max. Hey, Cannon. Roar from Sacramento, California. We got Summer from Oregon. If you're just arriving, please put your first name, where you're from in the chat. If you are an evolving line, give us a roar. We got Diana from Illinois. And then we got Hillary from Fort Lauderdale. Olive oil. We can definitely talk about olive oil. We got Mitty. We got Diana. Roar. We got Summer from Oregon. We got Melina. Well, hello, Melina. Good evening to you. We got Deb from Texas. Roar. Haven't been able to get too busy. Miss ya. You haven't been able to get OM? What's OM? What are you referring to there, Deb? Hello, Serena from Greenland. Very cool. I didn't know we had people from Greenland. Is it true that Greenland is mostly covered in ice? Is that true, Serena? Would you let me know? Also, if you're an evolving lion, give us a roar. Amy from Nebraska. Hello, Amy. Pretty Ooters. Rod from FL. Hello, Rod. Oh my, we just got a whole bunch of people here. Roar, the Rod Father. Roar to you, Rod. Theodora from Montreal. Hello, Theodora. Hello from Australia. Hello, Skylar from Pennsylvania. Melina from Orlando. Karen from Canada. Hi, my name is Sta from Canada. Hello. Maria from Long Island. If you're just driving, please put your first name, where you're from in the chat. If you're an evolving line, give us a roar. Maria from Long Island. Kelly from Minnesota. We got Carla from Canada. We got Gemma. Hi, Gemma. Hello from Kentucky. Roar to you, Gemma. Can you talk about gluten? We can talk about gluten. My mom died from Alzheimer's disease. It's very sad memories. I'm very sorry to hear that. You're in the right place if you want to prevent dementia and cognitive decline yourself. And welcome. Maddie from Missouri, not in Colorado. Roar to you, Maddie. Oh my. I'm sorry, this keeps skipping. Hello from Murrieta from California. From Murrieta, California. My aunt and uncle live there. It's a beautiful place. You've changed my life. Oh, well, thank you, Becky. I would say I just gave you information. You changed your life. You made the difference. You made the choice to change your life. And I'm so glad that I was able to give you some information that was helpful to you, and many blessings to you. And I'd love to hear what changes you've made so you can inspire all of us and let us know about your success. Hi from the mitten. Well, hello. We have 4 seasons. 4 seasons of what? Oh, 4 seasons of like rain, snow, or not rain, snow, summer, autumn, winter. Spring. Hello from Kentucky. Roar to you, Diana, on YouTube. Roar Jenny. Aya from California. Syracuse, New York. Roar to you. Michelle from Idaho. If you're an evolving lion, feel free to give a roar. Evolving lions are so this is the Lion's Den, where we come to meet virtually, where we come to share ideas of science and information to help us live happier, healthier lives. We come to support and love each other. And lions, one, evolving lions, because we are getting better ourselves. We are evolving. Two, we look to our evolutionary past to inform our diet. And number three, we like lion's mane, and lions are cool. Carmen from California. Good dogs. Hey, good dogs. Good to see you. Dentique is everything you cover in live in your video. So the lives that we talk about, this is going to be replayed on YouTube. So the live content is available for you whenever you'd like it. I think that's what you're asking. The things that I post on my TikTok channel as videos, some of those things I talk about in the lives. Roar, Karen from Miami. Hi, I'm coming to Miami soon. You are so welcome. Hi from Missouri. Jackie, Roar from Colorado. All right, let's get started. We got a bunch of people here. Lion's mane is wildly expensive in Texas. Lavender, look up Life Cycle. Give them a try. And then search your favorite online store. There are reasonably priced lion's mane. It's totally worth it. Greenland, now we are in winter. Best time to take supplements. It depends what supplements you're taking. So let me take this question, and then we're going to talk about the new Alzheimer's drug that came out from Biogen, or it's coming out from Biogen. So when's the best time to take supplements? It depends on what supplements you are taking. So some supplements you can take on an empty stomach. Let me see, what do I have here? So yeah, I do. So magnesium. This is liquid magnesium. I can take this anytime in liquid, and I do. It's right here. This is a supplement. Kava, I've been using this. This has been helping me sleep. I take that before bed. This is glycine. Glycine is an amino acid that helps with temperature regulation. And this is specific for sleep. So when we sleep, our temperature drops, our body temperature, core temperature drops between 1 degree and 3 degrees Fahrenheit. That's important. That allows us to sleep more deeply. This is an amino acid that helps us do that, or gives our brain the nourishment it needs to do that. And so I take this at night. L-theanine is another one I take at night. I have these ones at night here because I take them usually when we're on the live, so that way I can go to sleep more quickly after being on here. L-theanine, I take this, I actually took this during the day because I had a bunch of coffee today. L-theanine plus coffee, by the way, is really great. So you get the stimulation of coffee or caffeine, and then the relaxation of L-theanine. I was really dialed in, felt great. So this I'll take with coffee sometimes, or I'll take when I want to relax in the evening. Other supplements I want to take on an empty stomach. Magnesium I like to take on an empty stomach. Magnesium threonate in particular. That's magnesium that's small enough to cross the blood-brain barrier. I'll take that in the morning on an empty stomach when I first wake up. I will also take a B complex vitamin first thing when I wake up, because that is energizing and helps me wake up. And so as soon as I wake up, I will drink either water or celery juice, take my supplements. That'll be zinc, and that'll be magnesium and a B complex. And then I'll use the bathroom, put on my clothes, and I'm out the door. I'm walking outside in the sunshine within 10 minutes of my alarm going off, if I wake up with an alarm. And so those are some supplements I take on an empty stomach. And then with my coffee, I will take my early morning, I'll take my anti-aging supplements. This is my NMN, my resveratrol, my quercetin. For NMN, I'm trying this new form, Life Force. This is by Tony Robbins' company. I'm giving this a try. This feels good so far. I have my mother try it as well. She's given it a shot. And then there are other supplements that are good to take with food. For example, your fat-soluble vitamins, your vitamin D. So the fat-soluble vitamins spelled CADE, K-A-D-E, vitamin K, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E. You want to take those with food or fat. I take my longevity supplements with fat. I'll take it with fish oil. By the way, I've been taking a large dose of fish oil most mornings, a tablespoon of fish oil, and that's been going well. I was afraid that was going to upset my stomach and cause disaster pants. It has not. So that's good. So for me, at this point, a tablespoon of fish oil in the morning works for me. Do what works for you. Start slowly, maybe with a teaspoon of fish oil, and try taking some supplements with that in the morning. Oh, by the way, I'm a neuroscientist. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not giving you medical advice. I'm telling you what works for me. Please consult your medical doctor before doing anything that affects your health. And you may be interested in trying a teaspoon of fish oil with some morning supplements and seeing how you feel. I really like fish oil with B complex in the morning. It's really invigorating to my brain. I know those two pair very well together. There's research from Dr. David Smith at Oxford, and he found that pairing fish oil with B complex can reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease by 30%. It's a really darn big deal. So I take those two together in the morning. And then recently, some people have been sick in my home, and I've wanted to boost my immune system. And so I've been taking immune boosting supplements pretty regularly this week. That's been really important. And I think that's why I did not get sick, even though other people were sick in the house. And I took those with my smoothie. So my smoothie, I add olive oil and MCT oil to my smoothie to make sure my smoothie has fat. So in my smoothie, I'll add blueberries and spinach and kale and chard and collard greens and sometimes broccoli. And I'll blend all these things up. So I have a lot of plants that are rich in vitamins in my smoothie. And I want to make sure that I absorb all the fat soluble vitamins in my smoothie. So I will add fat to the smoothie in the form of olive oil. I used to do avocados. Avocados really make the smoothie a lot more calorie dense, and it really fills up my stomach. And I didn't like. I felt really tired when I removed the avocados. I felt much better, and so I really try to make these huge smoothies because I want to jam as much nutrition into there as possible. And I find that the less smoothie I drink, actually, the better I feel, because drinking a whole blender full of plants that are ground up with a bunch of vegetable powders and spirulina and these sorts of things, that's a lot for my body to digest. And so then I end up feeling tired for the next hour. And so now that I say this out loud, tomorrow I'm going to make a smoothie, but I'm only going to make myself a pint glass, and that's all I'm going to have, at least for an hour, and then I'll come back to it. So to answer your question, what's the best time to take supplements? It depends what supplements you're taking. What is the purpose? If they are evening supplements, for example, things that are meant to facilitate sleep, you can take those an hour before bed. If they are stimulating supplements like NMN, this is something you want to take in the morning. If you're taking nootropics are also known as smart drugs. These are things like aniracetam or alpha GPC or caffeine, nicotine, these sorts of things that really impact the brain and brain function. You probably want to take these in the morning. Interestingly, this is one of my favorite parts about nicotine. By the way, please don't start smoking. Smoking is very bad. Please don't start vaping. Vaping is bad. I do nicotine lozenges very occasionally. I was doing them a couple times a week. Now I'm only doing them maybe once a week. What I really like about them is that they act quickly, and then they go away. And so I can use them at night. For example, if I were going to work from 9 to 10, I could take a nicotine lozenge. I only do a quarter of one, and I could take that at 9 and be able to fall asleep later on in the evening. It doesn't keep me up. It actually it's both stimulating and relaxing. It's very nice. And so if you're interested in the cognitive benefits of nicotine, there are Nobel Prize winning scientists who chew nicotine gum all day. Nicotine increases both dopamine and acetylcholine activity in the brain, both of which are involved in focus, memory, and attention. Nicotine gum and nicotine lozenges are the safe way to get nicotine. Please don't start smoking. Smoking is very, very bad for your brain, for your body. And so please don't do that. But nicotine can be a safe way or nicotine gum and lozenges can be helpful to some people. Someone wrote in that they started taking less ADHD medication using nicotine. I was very happy with that. I've had ADHD, well, I guess my whole life, but I was diagnosed in 3rd grade. I've been on stimulant medication since 4th grade. And the ADHD medication we give children and prescribe for adults are very hardcore drugs. They're amphetamine, and they are addictive, and they are very powerful. They're not addictive to those with ADHD, but they're addictive to most people, or to many people. And when someone says they're reducing their ADHD medication and feeling good, that to me is a really good sign. I like people reducing any medication and feeling good. Generally speaking, I think that is a really good thing when we can take less pharmaceuticals and still feel really good. Here's a general rule of thumb of when to take supplements. If it's minerals, so think zinc, magnesium, think a periodic table, right? Remember from chemistry from high school. If it's on the periodic table, that's a mineral. Generally, those are best absorbed on an empty stomach, but that can be upsetting. Some people say zinc can upset their stomach, so in that case, take it with food. Minerals you can take on an empty stomach. If it's a vitamin, if it's KADE, a fat soluble vitamin, take that with food. And then some minerals compete with each other. So magnesium and calcium will compete for absorption, and zinc and copper will compete for absorption. So best not to take those together, for example. All right, that is my long-winded answer to your straightforward question. What else we got? Mitty just got many of my top 10 supplements. All right, good job. By the way, I put together a free report for you. A lot of you are asking about supplements, what supplements I take, what's good for your brain, and so forth, what brands I like, where I buy them. I put all that for you in a free report. Below my profile on TikTok is a link. If you click that link, that'll take you to my link tree, and there's a variety of free resources there. The second link on my link tree is a free report for my top 10 supplements. It tells you what I take, why I take it, what brands I like, and where I buy them. That's really, really helpful if you want to get started on supplements. Some people will ask me, tell me all the supplements I take. That's not helpful for most people because that's a lot. And I got here over decades. I've been refining my supplements at least for the last 10 years, if not the last 15 years, on and off. Over the last 5, I've really dialed it in. So what I have right now is let's say 5 years of real focused effort, and that's tailored to me. That's not going to be helpful for most people. I'm going to give you this free report has just my top 10 that's great for most people who are interested in improving brain health, improving cognition, and reducing the risk of Alzheimer's disease. And it tells you what brands I get. And so if that'll be helpful to you, go below my profile right now, click the link and enter your name and email, and I'll email you a free copy of the report. And please share it with others. It's a really great resource. Mitty was just saying that she got that. I'm so glad that you got that, Mitty. I'm sorry that your mother passed from Alzheimer's. I really am. And I hope the supplements in the free report are helpful to you. So that's just totally free. And I put that together. I want that to be a gift for you. And then you'll be subscribed to my email newsletter where I share a bunch of cool stuff about health and brain health and so forth. We have a question from Hillary. Is nicotine addictive? Yes, absolutely. Is coffee addictive? Is caffeine addictive? Yes. Are there benefits of coffee? Yes. Are there benefits to nicotine? Yes. Are there benefits to smoking? Some, I would say the cost far outweigh, the risks of smoking far outweigh the benefits. Now, do the risks of a nicotine lozenge for an adult, are those substantial risks? I would say not. I know of 0 people who have gotten addicted to nicotine lozenges who started using them, who were not already addicted to cigarettes. And by the way, if any of us anybody over the age of 25, if we started smoking, it is kind of hard to get us addicted to cigarettes if we start after 25, especially if we're health conscious, because most of our friends won't like it. We don't have a supportive environment encouraging us to smoke cigarettes. We probably won't feel good for a while. We would have to try to get addicted to them. It would take months, if not years. And so, if you're doing a nicotine lozenge, let's say twice a week, and you're doing a small amount, the amount of nicotine that you would get from a nicotine lozenge, let's say it's approximately half a cigarette. So how long would it take you to get addicted to cigarettes if you smoke half a cigarette twice a week? That's about what we're talking about as far as nicotine. How long would it take you to get addicted to smoking cigarettes if you smoked half a cigarette twice a week? I don't know if it would ever happen. I've been using nicotine on and off for 3 years now, and I have no addiction to nicotine. I use it very occasionally. I've used it more times than not sometimes, depending on what the workflow is. If I'm working late at night, I really like it. If I'm going out and I'm in a bad mood, I find it improves my mood. But nicotine is addictive, absolutely. So is caffeine. And knowing that, I do recommend that people who are health conscious try coffee. And if you're concerned about caffeine, get decaf. but there are many health benefits to coffee. There are health benefits to caffeine. There are risks to caffeine, and there are health benefits to nicotine lozenges and gum. There are some risks to nicotine lozenges and gum, just like with anything. A great example, and I'm so glad you brought this up, Hillary. This brings up a great point. Curcumin. Curcumin is a fantastic supplement. There are study after study after study showing benefits in animals, particularly mice and rats, as well as in humans. I'll give you one of my favorites. So they gave rats curcumin, and they made them obese. They made them obese by feeding them a high-fat, high-sugar diet. By the way, if you want to gain weight, the fastest way is to combine high fat and high sugar. The high sugar increases insulin, and the high fat is a bunch of energy, and then your body then stores that fat as fat on your body. If you just eat high fat but don't eat sugar with it, your body stores a lot less fat. So the worst diet possible is high fat, high sugar. And so that's what they fed these mice or rats, and they made them obese. Then half of them they gave curcumin, half of them they gave I think saline or some sort of placebo. They gave them some sort of treatment, and then they dissected them. And what they found was that the mice, the animals, I don't remember if it was mice or rats. Pardon me for interchanging them. The animals that had curcumin had healthier organs. Their hearts were healthier. Their liver was healthier. Their kidneys were healthier. Amazing. The curcumin actually protected their organs from the dangers of obesity. Obesity isn't just, it's not that people who are obese are simply that, they don't look healthy. And it's not just that they're carrying a lot of weight and that's hard on their joints and it's tiring. The fat, or what's called adiposity, actually creates inflammation in the body, and that inflammation can damage the tissues and organs. Curcumin actually protected the tissues and organs of the obese animals. Amazing. Curcumin also prevents the accumulation of plaque in the brain. So what's called amyloid plaque is one of the hallmark signs of Alzheimer's disease. People and animals who take curcumin, Yasmel, thank you for requesting to go live with me. I'm not going to do that right now, but thank you. Animals who take curcumin have less plaque in the brain. Amazing. So all kinds of benefits to curcumin. And people write me and they say, hey, I heard curcumin reduces testosterone. Yes, very slightly. So curcumin, which is this amazing supplement, which I would highly recommend that anyone who's concerned about Alzheimer's disease consider taking. Of course, check with your medical doctor. Curcumin's amazing for the brain, great for the body, great prevention. It's anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. I'm taking high doses now because it's good for the immune system. It is it's antiviral, it's antifungal, all kinds of good stuff with curcumin, and it slightly lowers testosterone. So, what to do? Do you take curcumin and get all these benefits and deal with the slightly lower testosterone, or do you not take it because you say, hey, this might lower my testosterone a bit, right? There's a trade-off. Now, for me, I simply exercise and sleep more. By the way, if you want higher testosterone, this is true for both men and women. By the way, women, you may not know this, women, you actually have more testosterone than estrogen. Women have more testosterone in their bodies than they do estrogen. Now you have less testosterone than men, and you have more estrogen than men, but both women and men have a lot of testosterone. Men have more. And so testosterone does the same thing in both men and women. It increases energy. It's involved in goal seeking. Women leaders are found to have higher levels of testosterone. They sampled captains of sports teams, women's sports teams, and the female captains had higher levels of testosterone than the non-captains. For example, I think this was in a great book called Presence by Amy Cuddy. Amy Cuddy is a Harvard professor in the business school. She's a psychologist. She studies hormones to some extent. Very cool. She has a great TED Talk, one of the best TED Talks, or one of the most watched TED Talks on the impact of posture on our hormones and our energy and health and confidence and so forth. Very cool. So if you're concerned about curcumin negatively impacting your testosterone, you cannot take curcumin and miss those benefits, or exercise more, specifically resistance training, do it in a safe way, and get more sleep. Sleep and exercise increases testosterone in men, and sleep definitely supports testosterone in women. I believe exercise does as well. And so there are these trade-offs that we need to go for. So for me, let's say earlier this week when I wanted to do work at 10 p.m., do I take nicotine or do I not? Well, it'll give me another hour of work, and it's slightly increases my risk of being addicted to lozenges, which seems really unlikely. I take curcumin daily. Is this going to decrease my testosterone? Maybe slightly, but I'm going to put in the exercise today, and I'm going to make sure I'm in bed. My sleep routine, by the way, I'm in my bed 9 hours, or I block out 9 hours to be in bed. I'm not asleep all 9 hours. I'm usually sleep about 8 or 7.5, but I give myself 9 hours to get 8 hours of sleep. And if you can, I recommend you block out a minimum of 8 hours, ideally 9 hours, to give your body the full opportunity to get a full 8 hours of sleep. And that's how I help regulate my testosterone, is by making sure I get enough sleep. So there are trade-offs in all of these things. And it's good to know what they are, and it's good to make the choice that's best for you. I don't know what's best for you. Another great example is melatonin. And I disagree with someone I really look up to, someone I admire, Andrew Huberman. Andrew Huberman is a neuroscientist at Stanford. I was just listening to his podcast with Lex Friedman. Who likes Andrew Huberman? Blow up the chat if you like Andrew Huberman. He's got a wonderful podcast called The Huberman Lab. I was just listening to his interview with Lex Friedman. And so Andrew Huberman, he says melatonin, we don't know enough. All right, Good Dogs likes Andrew Huberman. I don't know him. Yeah, Andrew Huberman. Huberman Lab is the podcast on YouTube. It's great. He has a great podcast on alcohol and the impact of even moderate drinking on the brain and on the body. Really well researched. I didn't know that he was putting out a podcast a week. That's amazing. I think his podcasts are excellent. They're well researched. The idea that he's putting out a podcast a week on a different topic, that's mind-boggling to me. I don't know how you develop the time to do that, to do the in-depth research and then put it together in a 2-hour podcast. Great stuff. And so his name is spelled Huberman. Huberman. Search. If you go onto YouTube and you search neuroscience podcast, he will probably pop up. Or neuroscience podcast Andrew, it'll probably pop up. New episodes every Monday. Thank you. So really fantastic work. He says, and I disagree with him on this, he says melatonin, the dosages in the supplement bottles are too high. They're higher than what's experienced naturally in humans, which is correct. I agree with that statement. And he said, therefore, we don't know what happens to humans, and it's dangerous, and I don't recommend anyone takes a melatonin supplement. I disagree with that. He said something very smart that I fully support. He said children should not take melatonin because it's a hormone and we don't know what it does to them. I think that's a great idea. I do not recommend melatonin for children. As soon as I heard that in the podcast, I dialed a couple of mothers. I said, hey, are you giving your kid melatonin? Please don't do that. That's a bad idea. And so I don't recommend that. Messing with children's hormones, we don't know what happens. We don't know what the impact is. It's a bad idea. And also, it's why I think cell phones and social media are a really bad idea for kids. We don't know what happens to the developing brain when it's hit with such incredible stimulation. Social media, and TikTok in particular, but social media is so darn powerful and addictive. I know I'm likely to lose if I start scrolling in Facebook or scrolling on Instagram or TikTok. So I just don't scroll. I go to people. For example, I'll go to the Andrew Huberman page and I'll watch some of his stuff. Excuse me, and then I'll close out. Scrolling, like the algorithm is so good. It's so addictive. It knows exactly what to put in front of us to keep us watching. It's dangerous. It's addictive, and I think giving it to children desensitizes their dopamine response. Their dopamine response should be a healthy response to things that are healthy for children their age, and instead, with cell phones, children are being exposed to things that are unnatural to them, and they're all these strange things that are affecting their dopamine in particular, but just their brain. And I think it's really scary. We don't have data yet, but we'll have data in 5 years. What happens to the 10-year-old with TikTok right now, the 10-year-old with an iPhone. In 5 and 10 years, we're going to have data on what that child's like as a teenager, what they're like as an adult. Some friends of mine, some young women, they're around age 22, 23, 24. They were talking about how men they would date had erectile dysfunction. Men their age, men in their 20s were having erectile dysfunction. And I think that's from watching pornography growing up. When I was in middle school, my school, we had a laptop program, and so we all had laptops. Pornography was not abundant on the internet yet. About 2 years into the program, there was pornography on almost all of our laptops. It was everywhere. And so I was eighth grade, ninth grade at the time. What happens when a child who's in third, fourth, fifth, sixth grade gets access to pornography regularly? What then? What does that do to their brain? What does that do with their understanding of sex and healthy sexual expression, of what's attractive in women? Women and men in pornography look different than women and men in real life. What happens when children think that that's what sex looks like and that's what sexual partners look like? Is that going to mess with their sex life and healthy sexual expression and potentially erectile dysfunction? I think so. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. Amazing. Really, really, really bad news. Really, really unfortunate. And so I think, and then we're talking about trade-offs. Is there value to being on TikTok? Yes, I think so. TikTok was one of the last bastions of freedom of speech in the United States. Every other social media platform was hardcore censored. I think that was really important. And then, TikTok has brought me to you and you to me. I think this is wonderful. We have people around the world, from Greenland and Australia to the United States, and we're all here gathering for free, talking about information that affects our health and well-being. And we're gathered together in the spirit of love and collaboration and helping and supporting each other. That's a wonderful gift. That is amazing. And it's costing us nothing. That's damn cool. That's amazing. I can't put a price on that. I can't put a value on that. The value's through the roof. It's wonderful. And there are costs to this as well. There's costs to having these highly addictive social media platforms. There's cost to having these supercomputers in our pocket. And there's trade-offs to taking a nicotine lozenge and taking curcumin. And the important thing is that you make the choice that's right for you. And I recommend making that choice from an unemotional place. And so make that choice when you're not on TikTok and say, hey, I'm going to be on TikTok for 20 minutes. Or I'm only going to watch Robert Love's content because it's meant to be valuable and meant to teach you things that'll help you live a healthier life. It's meant to be inspirational, for example. Or if you're going to scroll, set a timer. Gosh darn it. It's really easy for an hour to go by just scrolling. Who's with me? Who's lost just an hour of your time, or at least 30 minutes just scrolling on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram? It's so easy just to lose an hour and say, what did I just do? What just happened? I'm super stimulated. Now I'm tired because my hormones in my brain has been firing on all cylinders. So back to Andrew Huberman. So he says melatonin is not safe for adults because it's super high doses. The data, from my understanding, show that melatonin is extremely safe of all the things an adult can take. And think of the things an adult can take that are legal. An adult can buy alcohol. An adult can buy cigarettes in the United States, and in many places, cannabis. And an adult is legally allowed to drive a car while sleep deprived. I think that's a really dangerous idea. I don't know how to regulate that, but that's something that they can do. An adult cannot be arrested for driving tired, I don't think, in the United States. They can be pulled over and maybe cited for dangerous driving, but drunk driving is a crime. Sleep deprived driving is not, and they're equally dangerous. So there's some very dangerous things that human beings can do. They can drive without a seatbelt, for example. Melatonin is shown to be extremely safe, even high doses of melatonin. Melatonin helps reduce cancer. So a lot of some oncologists who really know their stuff, they will prescribe high doses of melatonin to their patients undergoing chemotherapy. High doses being 30 milligrams. That's a huge dose. Most melatonin supplements are 5 to 10 milligrams. I take a 12 milligram melatonin supplement, and I take it about 5 nights a week. I only take it 5 nights a week because I want to convince my brain and body that I can sleep without it, which I can. And so melatonin is not habit forming. It's not addictive. Melatonin does not decrease your body's natural amounts of melatonin. That's the concern. It's called endogenous melatonin, endogenous, made from within, right? Versus exogenous, from outside. And so exogenous melatonin, or melatonin tablets, does not decrease endogenous melatonin you make inside yourself. And that's the concern. So that's good. And then melatonin has all kinds of benefits in your body. Now, could it become addictive? I suppose so. It hasn't been. Could there be some toxic problems from it? Maybe. We haven't found any yet. And so of all the things to take, I mean, I forgot to mention this. I mean, human beings, adults in the United States, and children in the United States are allowed to buy sugar. I think that's extremely dangerous. I mean, I've told the story a couple times before. It's the pandemic. There's the lockdown. I'm at Whole Foods. I have to stand 6 feet away. There's stickers on the floor saying I have to stand 6 feet away from another human for fear of contagion of this deadly virus. And they're selling sugar at the checkout line. They're selling candy at the checkout line, and I'm enraged. We know sugar is an immunosuppressive supplement. Is immunosuppressive. It reduces the immune system. It impairs the immune system. Also contributes to weight gain, obesity, diabetes. It impairs long-term health and it impairs short-term health. Right? Eat a bunch of sugars, you're more likely to get sick. I found that for sure, especially as I've cleaned my body out over years. When I have either sugar or alcohol, I'm much more likely to feel sick the next day. Alcohol in particular, but sugar as well. And so there's all kinds of dangerous things that we are allowed to put inside our bodies. I think melatonin is one of melatonin, I think, has many benefits, especially for sleep, but also for and regulating a regular sleep cycle. If you want, one of the best things you can do for your sleep and for your brain is to have a regular sleep cycle. And so I know a lot of you have mentioned you struggle with sleep. I've struggled with sleep for years. And I found that the best way to get my sleep under control is to have a regular sleep time and a regular wake time. That is huge. I know you've heard that. You've heard that many times and you've probably tried it. It's really important to get that dialed in and to choose a sleep and wake time that works for you. So a member of my family was having trouble sleeping and she said, "Oh, well, this says I should be in bed at 10. So I'm going to go to bed at 10." And I said, "Family member, you go to bed at 1. That's when you go to bed. Don't tell me you're gonna go to bed at 10." She said, "Oh, well, I watched this program and 10's, the best time to go to bed." I said, "Well, maybe, but that's not gonna work for you because that's not when you go to bed." And so this lasted all of the night. The next night she said, "Oh yeah, I'm not gonna do that." And so I don't recommend choosing a time that's overambitious for you. Choose a time within 30 minutes of when you usually go to bed and have that become your regular sleep time. And then wake up 8 to 9 hours later and have that be your regular wake time. If that's not 8 hours, reverse engineer this. When do you need to wake up? Let's say you need to wake up at the crack of dawn. You need to wake up at 6 a.m., either work, for school, for something. Reverse engineer that. So the ideal time is 10 a.m. for you to be in bed or earlier. Now, maybe you go to bed at midnight. So start at midnight. I'm not taking live guests right now, but thank you for asking. Start at midnight and then work backwards. And then you can go back as far as go back slowly. But over the next couple of weeks, you'll be down to 10 o'clock and stay there. Defend that sleep time. Gosh darn it, defend your sleep time. If you are used to staying up to midnight and you want to go to bed at 10 p.m. and have that be a regular thing, defend that sleep time and tell your friends and family, say, "Hey, I'm in bed at 10. Please don't invite me out late. Please don't keep me late. Please don't call me late. Please don't text or email or call me after 9. Don't expect me to respond after 9." By the way, and then turn off your phone 2 hours before bed. This is really key. This is hard to do. I struggle with this myself. So after this, I will usually hop on my phone and then respond to messages, often on Instagram. By the way, if you want to send me a message, Instagram is the best place to do that because I have fewer followers there and I get a lot fewer messages. I get so many messages and comments on TikTok. I can only respond to some of them. So if you want to send me a personal message, just subscribe to Instagram and you can send me a message. I'm much more likely to respond to it. My Instagram is the same handle as my TikTok handle, by the way, and I share some of the same stuff. Please follow me on Instagram, by the way. I'm trying to develop more of a following on Instagram and share more of this information that way. So if you want to get your sleep dialed in, melatonin can be really helpful because it increases the feeling of fatigue, of tiredness. And it does this in a very natural way by increasing your hormones that tell your brain, "Oh, it's time to sleep." So melatonin is a really powerful tool to regulate your sleep. So there's pluses and minuses to everything. All right. So Mash Stash got a bunch of comments from you on YouTube. First time catching live. Welcome. What would your cutoff for convincing an old man to stop being a naysayer? Sorry, I'm reading your comment here. This is a lot. Thank you, Mash Dash. I appreciate your comment. All right. So if this makes sense, give me a roar. Give me a roar in the chat. If you're just joining us, give me your first name, where you're from in the chat. Ocean Favor, great to see you. You found grass-fed beef. Awesome. And pasture-raised stuff. No negative side effects of melatonin in adults, none that we know of yet. If you take too much, it can mess with your dreams. Um, I've definitely taken too much and had it mess with my dreams. Mom died of dementia, just started lion's mane intermittent fasting. Good job. I'm sorry to hear about your mother, and you're in the right place. Kenny from Wisconsin, Julianne from Santa Fe, Lisa, Edmonton, roar, roar to you. Kate from Chicago, roar. Yeah, magnesium stearate. This is a really interesting question, Rochelle. Rochelle from Canada. And thank you for the maple leaf. So, um, I lived with a roommate for 2 years, and we were really good friends a couple years before then, and he's been really helpful to me. By the way, if you really wanna get your health dialed in, make healthy friends. I recommend having at least one raw vegan friend. They will share with you really cool information. Ideally, a raw vegan friend who's open-minded if you don't wanna be raw vegan. But raw vegans, if they're really got their health dialed in, they know a lot. And so he shared with me a number of things. One of them was he talked about magnesium stearate. He actually helped me make my first supplement about 2 years ago. I made my first supplement. It was called Vitality. It was super jam packed with all kinds of healthy stuff for the brain and for the immune system. I sold out. I don't have any more right now. And he helped me make it. He helped me design it. And then we talked about magnesium stearate. He said magnesium stearate is really, really bad for you. And I said, interesting. Let's look at the data. I've not seen any data to suggest or show that magnesium stearate is bad. I've heard from health conscious people that magnesium stearate is bad, but I have not seen any data to show that. And so, same thing with aluminum. A lot of people say aluminum causes Alzheimer's disease, or aluminum in the brain causes Alzheimer's disease, or aluminum in antiperspirant causes Alzheimer's disease. I used to say this to my dad to try to scare him into getting off of aluminum antiperspirants. By the way, I don't think aluminum antiperspirants are good, and I've looked in the literature. I've looked, this is as far back as research goes back 40 years on this. They dissected brains of Alzheimer's patients. They did not have more aluminum in their brains than the brains of healthy adults. So, as of right now, there is no clear data linking aluminum with Alzheimer's disease. There is data linking heavy metals to Alzheimer's disease, but not specifically aluminum. Same thing with magnesium stearate. I've heard about magnesium stearate not being good. I've not seen any data to show that it's not good. And so, I go by the data, and I'm open to being wrong. As a scientist, we need to be, right? Science keeps changing. So, when we're talking next year, a year from now, so in December 2023, some of the stuff I've been talking about will either be incorrect or we'll have a different understanding of it. At least I hope so. Certainly with food, we will have a better understanding of some of the food because the food science is changing really quickly. This year was the first year that was publicized that dietary cholesterol does not equal cholesterol in your blood. So from the 80s, and a lot of you know this, who remembers the 80s when egg yolks were bad, right? Egg yolks were terrible. Egg yolks were heart disease, guaranteed, right? Egg yolks were high in cholesterol. That means cholesterol in your blood. That means heart disease. That means death, right? We all heard this in the 80s. Now we know that's not true. It doesn't work that way. It's not as simple as cholesterol in food equals cholesterol in your bloodstream. Ain't how it works, folks. Most of the cholesterol that's in our food that we digest actually becomes bile. It gets dumped and it becomes like digestive enzymes. And most of the cholesterol in our body we make. About almost every cell in your body can make cholesterol. Cholesterol is extremely important for healthy bodily function, healthy brain function. And I'm not talking about cholesterol that gets like stuck in your arteries. I'm just saying cholesterol throughout the body is made by the different cells. And dietary dairy cholesterol is unrelated to cholesterol in the serum, which is the blood. And so that's new, and that's new, and it's now being accepted. Right, that took years of research to get, but that's new, and that's now part of the science. Now doctors are recommending. Dr. Stephen Gundry is saying, eat the egg yolk, throw away the egg white. The yolk has got the cholesterol. The yolk has got the healthy fats. The yolk has got the vitamins. The yolk has got some protein. Eat the yolk, throw away the whites. That's the complete opposite of what we were doing in the 80s. And so science is changing. I think the food science is changing very quickly. Um, and so when we talk about food and science a year from now, those will have more data on that. And certainly all the Alzheimer's disease science is going to change in the next year. So just recently, there's a new drug that might be released as early as January. It might be approved by the FDA as early as January. And this is the title of the Lion's Den for tonight. There's this new drug from Japan, and Biogen is the United States company that's behind it. And this drug is supposed to reduce the accumulation of plaque in the brain. Amyloid plaque is one of the hallmark signs of Alzheimer's disease. Inflammation is related to the accumulation of plaque. Heavy metals increase the accumulation of plaque. Things like curcumin reduce the accumulation of plaque. Exercise is thought to reduce the accumulation of plaque. So plaque is involved in Alzheimer's disease. And then you may have heard of something called tau protein or tau tangles. So I'm going to give you just a little bit of science here. I'm going to see if you can remember this. Amyloid plaque is plaque between neurons. So it's between cells. So it kind of gums up the communication between cells. Tau proteins are inside the cells. Those are inside the neurons. So those cause dysfunction inside the neurons. Amyloid plaque is outside the neurons, and it can interrupt communication between cells. And so this new drug reduces amyloid plaque in the brain. And here's their finding. I really wish these drugs would do more than they did. They have an 18-point scale of memory and cognition. We'll say it. I wish I could say 20 to make it easier to visualize, but they have an 18-point scale. Guess how much of a difference on an 18-point scale this drug did? So it's a double-blind, placebo-controlled study. People got an injection of this drug every 2 weeks. And I think it was a 6-month study with it was like 1,500 people. It was 6 months, and they got an injection every 2 weeks. Either you got an injection of the drug or you got an injection of a placebo. And then they measured their memory on an 18-point scale. Guess how many points this mattered? Guess what the difference was? 3 from Lisa. Any other guesses? 3. We got 1. 1 point out of 18, 3 points out of 18. So 1 point out of 18 would almost be like a 5% difference. 12 points. Holy crap. That'd be amazing. What drug? The drug is from Biogen. Can I get the name of it? Let me look at this. There's an article on Reuters about it. It's called ESAI. ESAI. Biogen's Alzheimer's drug could be available sometime next year. There's a Reuters article about it. Don't look it up if you're going to guess. So we got 12 from Talbert Girl, 5, 4, guessing not much, 12%. So 12% on the scale of 1 to 18 would be like 2 points. So 4 points. Any other guesses? You can either guess a percentage or guess points. 2 points. This is 6 months on the study drug. 5 points, 2 points. 5 would be huge. That would be great. 1 point. So in this trial, 69%. That would be awesome. Oh my gosh. By the way, some of you already know this joke. Viagra reduces the risk of Alzheimer's disease in a study of over 7 million people. It reduced the risk of Alzheimer's disease, mostly in men, because mostly men took the drug. Excuse me. It reduced the risk of Alzheimer's disease by 69%. No joke. This research came out about this time a year ago. It came out around Christmas time, December of 2021. Viagra reduces the risk of Alzheimer's disease by 69%. Amazing. How do people get involved in these trials? Well, interestingly, I'm just starting a trial. We're doing it right now, testing huperzine A in memory. So I'm doing a clinical trial myself with some of the people. I bet you some of the people on tonight, at least 1 or 2 of them, are in the trial. And so you learn about it through a variety of ways. So here's the number. This drug over 6 months improved memory by 0.5 point. 0.5 point. So 1 point would be about 5%. So this is about 2.5%. Amazing. And they're so excited about it. They're trying to get the FDA to approve it in January. This is bonkers to me. Curcumin, cinnamon, lion's mane. These are herbs and supplements, dietary supplements that are extremely safe. that are inexpensive, that there's tons of data on animals and humans. These things improve memory, reduce inflammation, reduce the risk of dementia, reduce amyloid plaque in the brain. These things make a much bigger difference. And the newspaper isn't talking about them. Very few researchers are talking about them. I talk about them almost every podcast or almost every Lion's Den. There are so many supplements that a person can take. I will say the supplements again. Absolutely. Are you ready? Here are some supplements that are shown to reduce inflammation. So, by the way, inflammation is one of the primary causes of Alzheimer's disease. The Framingham study, which is a study, I think, from Framingham, Massachusetts, follows people for decades. And they found that people's inflammation levels at age 40 predicted their risk of Alzheimer's disease at age 70. Inflammation predicts disease 30 years later. And indeed, people who have higher levels of inflammation are more likely to get Alzheimer's disease as well as other diseases. So inflammation's a darn big deal. Accumulation of plaque is a big deal. Loss of memory is a big deal. People who have mild cognitive impairment, which is pretty significant memory loss, they are at significantly greater risk of Alzheimer's disease than people who do not have mild cognitive impairment. So here are some supplements that are available right now that have shown to reduce inflammation and improve memory. And some of them actually reduce the accumulation of plaque in the brain. Here they are. Number one is lion's mane. Lion's mane is, and by the way, if you want all of these are all in that free report I mentioned underneath my profile. You can download my free report, my top 10 supplements for the brain. I'll list all these and more, where I buy them and the brands I like. So if you like this list, write these down for sure. You'll remember them better, and download the free report at the end of this. I tell you all of these and the benefits of them and where I buy them. So that's a free resource for you, and that's underneath my profile, my top 10 supplements. So here are the supplements that are shown to do this, to protect the brain and improve memory and reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease. We have lion's mane. Lion's mane is a medicinal mushroom that's used in ancient Chinese and Japanese traditional medicine. And it increases something called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, as well as nerve growth factor, and it reduces inflammation. And BDNF and NGF, these facilitate the growth of new brain cells and new neural connections. That's a damn big deal. Exercise does the same thing. If we could bottle exercise up and make exercise a pill or a supplement, it would be the best-selling supplement of all time. Exercise is so darn good for your brain and your body and your health. And a lion's mane increases BDNF and NGF, which is something that exercise does as well. Another great supplement that's very safe and beneficial for the brain is Ceylon cinnamon, spelled Ceylon cinnamon. This is also known as true cinnamon. It's from Sri Lanka, and you want organic. And this supplement improves memory in double-blind placebo-controlled studies in healthy adults, also helps regulate blood sugar, also reduces inflammation. It's antiviral, antifungal, so it's good for the immune system. And I believe it's anti-inflammatory as well. It is an antioxidant. So there's this great study. So they had these people come into the laboratory and they gave them a memory test. They gave half of them a cinnamon supplement and half of them a placebo. Send them away 6 months. I think it was a 3-month supply. They came back 3 months later, retested their memory. The placebo group, their memory stayed the same. The cinnamon group, their memory improved a little bit. So cinnamon improves memory in healthy adults. I think the dose in that study, if I'm right, is 800 milligrams of cinnamon. So cinnamon improves memory in healthy adults. Amazing. Cinnamon also improves memory in rats and mice that have been affected with Alzheimer's disease or something similar to Alzheimer's disease. All kinds of benefits to cinnamon. It's very safe. We are talking about trade-offs. Is there a trade-off? Potentially. I don't know what it is. I don't recommend taking cinnamon or really any supplement every single day. 5 or 6 days a week is pretty good. Give your body at least a day off, or maybe take a week off every now and then. But it's good to cycle supplements. Supplement number 3 is curcumin. We've been talking about curcumin a fair amount tonight. Curcumin is from the Indian root turmeric, and turmeric's been used medicinally in India for a long darn time. And curcumin is like turmeric on steroids. Turmeric is only 5% curcumin, and so you want curcumin. It's much more powerful. It's the primary anti-inflammatory, antioxidant agent in turmeric. And so when you get pure curcumin, that's 20 times more powerful than just turmeric, for example. So don't get a turmeric supplement, get a curcumin supplement. And you want to take it with black pepper or piperine. Black pepper increases the absorption of curcumin by 300% up to 3,000%, depending on which study you look at. And you want to take it with black pepper. Black pepper increases the absorption. Or piperine. Piperine is the active ingredient in black pepper that increases the absorption. You also want to take curcumin with fat, like olive oil, coconut oil, MCT oil, some fat that can help absorption. Same thing with cinnamon. It's good to take cinnamon with some oil to increase absorption as well. So curcumin, very good for the brain. Curcumin also, so here are the benefits of curcumin. It's anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. I mentioned earlier, it actually protects your organs. It protects your heart, protects your liver, protects your kidneys from the damage of inflammation, like inflammation from obesity. So if I were obese, or if family members were obese, I would say, do you know what? You want to start taking curcumin now, because this is going to help protect your organs. This is a really damn big deal, and it's very, very safe. So curcumin is great for that. And curcumin helps reduce the accumulation of plaque in the brain. This is mostly in mouse studies, because it's a lot cheaper to do experimentation on mice than humans. And also, there's not a whole lot of money behind curcumin, right? You got to get funding for this. There aren't big companies. So Biogen is a big company that funded this Alzheimer's disease research. So they got 1,000 people who had early stage Alzheimer's, and they gave half of them a drug, half of them a placebo. They can afford to do that because they got a ton of money. It's much more difficult for a researcher at a university or a researcher at a company who's investigating curcumin to find 1,000 people and to get them the supplement. I mean, I know I'm trying to do I'm doing a study right now on huperzine. It was not easy to get 50 people signed up. Over 600 people applied, but not that many of them followed through. And so it's difficult to fill a clinical trial, and then you got to pay for the supplement, and it's expensive. And so there aren't that many clinical trials of curcumin in people with early stage Alzheimer's disease. It's mostly animal models. And what the animal models find is that when you give mice or rats that have Alzheimer's disease, when you give them curcumin, they have less plaque in the brain. Curcumin helps reduce the accumulation of plaque in the brain, and in some cases even removes the plaque. So let's say the mice has 5 units. The mouse has 5 units of plaque in the brain. You give it curcumin. At the end of the study, it's got 3 units of plaque. So not only did it block the accumulation, but some actually got removed. That's really darn cool. So those are 3 great supplements that are extremely safe, very backed by science, available to you right now. Minimal, if any, side effects. I mean, curcumin does slightly reduce testosterone, and that's a trade-off I'm willing to make. And I like my testosterone. I like the energy. I like the mental clarity. I like the drive. And so I exercise and I sleep well, and I have plenty of testosterone doing those things. I will take the small reduction in testosterone from curcumin for the many benefits of it. So those are 3 supplements that if you're concerned about your brain and you'd like to reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease, there's a ton of data behind them. Very safe. You can get them right now. Please get organic. Generally, you want to take those with fat. Oh, and lion's mane, you can take it either in the morning or at night. I like to take it at night. It gives me really cool dreams. It improves the quality of sleep. Some people, if you take a pill, it doesn't sit really well in the stomach. The liquid that I've been taking, Life Cycle, that goes really well before bed. That I kind of just put under my tongue. That absorbs pretty well. So, and then if you want the whole list, that's just 3 of the supplements I take on a regular basis that I recommend to people who are interested in reducing the risk of Alzheimer's disease. If you want all 10 of mine, get the free report underneath my profile. Just enter your name and email, and I'll email it to you. And then you can send it to friends and family. And then you got the information right there. And I tell you why I like each of the supplements and why they're so good. All right. Questions about those 3 supplements? All right, Patrick, you're asking about fluoride and aluminum. Yeah, MCT oil is great, Patrick. Totally. Hi, Monica. I was taking ginkgo with fish oil. It worked really well. So ginkgo is interesting. Ginkgo biloba increases blood flow to the brain. And the research that I've read is that ginkgo is best when you pair it with something else. So you got to mix ginkgo with something. It sounds like the fish oil was helpful to you. I haven't tried that. I've been taking fish oil with B complex. That works really well. Lion's mane in my coffee in the morning. How's that go, Lily Flowers? Rochelle, should you take magnesium with K2D3? Yes, you can. but you want to make sure you take it with fat because K2D3 are fat soluble vitamins. Found lion's mane tablets, 500 milligrams. Cool. How much does it reduce T? A very small amount. Let me see if I can find that. The short answer is, from my perspective, not enough to matter. I think it's minimal, but let me look. We got the internet here. Oh, someone said something funny on one of my posts. They said Google said this not to take quercetin for long periods of time. What are your thoughts? And I said, well, did Google say why? And so people will get like a general answer from a search engine. This thing's bad. Well, you got to read why it's bad and try to understand it. Just taking the headline doesn't really equip you with much information. In fact, it's dangerous because there might be information down below that's really important about how it works. Right? It might say quercetin's bad long term for those undergoing chemotherapy, for example. Right? Or quercetin's bad for obese people long term, but it's great for people with chemotherapy. Right? I don't know. I think quercetin, generally speaking, is safe long term. I'm going to look that up while we're looking at that. But beware of searching something and just reading the headline. Please read more and understand what's happening. And I hope I'm giving you enough science while we're talking here so that you can understand some of the mechanisms so that when you read, let's say, an article in what's a great publication in something like this, these things, my parents subscribe to these are great. They just have a lot of health information, these health bulletins, right? If you get a health bulletin newsletter, if you read it, hopefully you can understand it and you'll have an understanding of it. Okay, so let's look this up. Curcumin decreases testosterone. Let's see. Curcumin inhibited cell proliferation and induced apoptosis in prostate cancer cells. Ooh, that's really good. So curcumin reduced prostate cancer. Curcumin decreased the expression of steroidogenic acute regulatory proteins in prostate cancer cells, supporting the decrease of testosterone production. So I don't know what exactly that means. Sounds like it was helpful with cancer. Testosterone decreased dihydrotestosterone, DHT, which is actually associated with hair loss. It's the really intense form of testosterone. Taken together, these results suggest that curcumin's natural bioactive compounds have potent anti-cancer properties due to suppression of androgen production. So androgens are testosterone and dihydrotestosterone. There might be one more. And this could have therapeutic effects on prostate cancer. So really interesting, right? So we were just talking about this. You want to read the whole story. So the headline is curcumin reduces testosterone. And that's actually what this article says. This article is in Cancer Science. It's from 2018. So curcumin decreases testosterone. That's the first part of the headline of the article. Then it also says it decreases testosterone production in prostate cancer. And so the conclusion is curcumin, it has potent anti-cancer properties by reducing testosterone. So in this case, reducing testosterone is damn good. Now, it doesn't provide an answer. How much does it decrease? But same thing. If I tell you curcumin reduces testosterone and specifically reduces the spread of prostate cancer, now you're like, oh, that's great, right? This is really interesting. Who's fascinated by this, right? We were just talking about how this doesn't, how you want to understand the full thing, and in this study, which is kind of it's cited by 34 people, which is actually a lot. It's actually a good thing that it reduces testosterone. Very interesting. Yes, I do have recommendations for colds, and due to popular request, I'm going to make and I'm going to do that in the next week. I'm going to make a program on immune health. I'm going to make a recording on immune health, and I'm going to offer that to y'all for some low amount. So that way you can have it, so you can download it and have it. And so it's going to be a video, and that's going to have a cheat sheet. So what was the other thing? We're talking about testosterone in curcumin. What was the other thing? Yes, I am on Friday, Karina. Salmon's great. What was the other question? So curcumin. You're allergic to fish. What else to take? Take omega-3 algae oil. Fish oil is good fat, absolutely. Fish oil, interestingly enough, fish oil actually decreases blood triglycerides. Blood triglycerides are fat in the blood. If you wanna know what curcumin I take, download my free report. I tell you the brands that I take. It's great stuff. NMN for brain fog, it's going well, good. Keep it up. Magnesium glycinate is great, yes. Trace minerals, magnesium, yes. I do a ton of magnesium. I do trace minerals. I also do magnesium glycinate and magnesium threonate. I do a ton of magnesium. Avocado is good fat, yes. Mega Mag has helped you tremendously, awesome. Cinnamon and intermittent fasting, yeah, those are great, great. If you're doing intermittent fasting, I like to do it with coffee or caffeine or matcha, and so I will stop eating at 8 p.m. Over the last 3 years, I've been doing intermittent fasting, and now it's really easy for me to go 14, 16 hours. So I will stop eating at 8 p.m., and then I will wake up and have celery juice, which does not really have calories, and then I will go for my walk and I'll do my Wim Hof breathing and I'll meditate and then I'll drink another glass of water. And so usually I don't eat food until 11 or 12. So how many hours is that? So 10 p.m. would be 10 a.m. would be 14 hours. 12 would be 16 hours. So it's really easy for me to go 16 hours of fasting at this point, which it's really not terrible if you think about it. So if you stop eating at 8 p.m., just simply don't have calories until noon. Or if you're going to do coffee with MCT oil and you'll stay in a fasted state. Fat will not break your fast metabolically speaking. Now it is calories, so it depends on how you define a fast. Excuse me, fasting means to go without. So if you could do a water fast where you just do nothing but water, but you can also do coffee, and that actually increases ketones, which are energy made from fat, and that makes the fasting a lot easier. And you can consume MCT oil with your coffee. Make sure you blend it. Don't just add it on top. MCT oil on top of coffee is just oily and no bueno. And that makes the fasting a lot easier. I forget what was the other thing I was going to look up. I don't know if India has less Alzheimer's. I've looked for that data. I haven't found it. And India is so different from the United States. Our food is so different. But oh, by the way, if you want to be really upset, there's a food documentary. It was on fast food and India. It's awful. It basically shows how fast food companies in America are making their least healthy food and selling it in India. And India is going to be going to have a terrible spike in obesity in the next 10 years as they eat this. Let me look this up. Fast food in India. And it was about advertising to children. It was so upsetting. Hang on just a moment. I want you to know what this was. Can I go to my history? Where's my history? Watch later, liked videos. I'll bring this to you later. It was really disturbing. It showed how American companies are advertised. So France, the fast food that is in restaurants is actually a lot healthier than it is in India. France has much stricter laws about what's allowed in food. I'm generally not a fan of government regulation. This I think is good. I think it's good that the food is not poisonous and dangerous to our health, especially for children who don't know any better, and especially for people who of low education and low income who don't know any better or don't have any other options. Really good to not poison those people. I think that's just a good idea. And so it'd be nice if these companies just did that naturally and said, hey, we want our product to be a good product. We want this to be healthy for people. We want it to taste good and to be a good price and for it to be healthy for people. That would be great. Instead, they just make the most awful, horrible things that human beings would eat. And it's just terrible for them. And the way that they advertise to children is just horrible. I think it's just awful. And in the United States, nobody is talking about this. Democrats, Republicans, I mean, libertarians don't have a microphone right now. The Green Party would probably have something to say about it, but I don't believe in the two-party system. I think it's stupid and corrupt and incompetent and doesn't work. But neither party is saying, "Hey, we want to not advertise to children because children are obese right now, and it'd be a really good idea if we stop that. Because if obese children become obese adults, and 80% of 20-year-olds are obese, that's going to be a damn big problem in the United States for the workforce, for medicine, for you name it. Things are going to break. It's going to be really, really bad. Not to mention the quality of life of those poor people that grew up on fast food and soda and French fries. Just really, really awful. Okay. So, any questions about those top 10 supplements, about those three supplements that help reduce accumulation of plaque in the brain, improve memory? And then, if you want the whole list, it's right below my profile for free. Go ahead and get it. And while we're talking about fast food, a lot of you have expressed the desire. Um, is it curcumin or quercetin? What I talked about was curcumin. Quercetin is good for the brain, but that's not what I talked about. Quercetin is also anti-inflammatory, really good for the lungs. So if you know someone who has inflammation that's in their lungs, quercetin can be really helpful. Quercetin got really big during the pandemic because of its ability to help clear the lungs. If you are looking to have sustainable weight loss, if you're one of the 40% of Americans who are obese or 70% who are overweight, and if you want to lose more than 20 pounds and you're committed to doing it, and you're willing to eat healthier food and do the exercises and really make a significant lifestyle change that'll benefit you, and you can serve as a model for your family, and you'll have better health. If that's for you, there is a link underneath my profile for a free weight loss blueprint, and you get to have a call with a certified weight loss coach. A lot of these coaches are, they have master's degrees in nutrition science. One of them even has a PhD in nutrition science. And so beneath my profile, there's a link, and it says Chad Tackett Free Weight Loss Roadmap Blueprint. And you can apply for a free session with a weight loss coach there and get your free weight loss roadmap. Basically, what they're going to do is they're going to ask you some questions. What kind of foods do you like? How much weight would you like to lose? What's your exercise schedule like? What's your body type like? And they're going to take that information and create a customized blueprint that is a roadmap for your weight loss success. And then you'll get on the phone and talk to a certified weight loss coach about it. And there's no charge to any of this. And then if you want ongoing support, if you want to join their program, there's the ability to do that as well. And so you can apply to do that underneath my profile if you would like sustainable weight loss. I know some people have already signed up with Chad's program and are having great results. That's really wonderful. I'm so grateful I get to share this information with you and that people are taking action. By the way, let's do that. I would love to hear what actions you're taking to improve your health, either that you've learned tonight or learned this week, either from me or somewhere else. Karina, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you take effective action to help yourself. Hello, Comet. So if you're going to start getting curcumin, for example, because you learned about it tonight, or if you're going to start taking your supplements at different times, or you got to start reading the articles more fully, like the testosterone article, and showing how curcumin actually helps prevent prostate cancer. All right, Nebula is taking lion's mane. Great job. All right, I'm not taking other people right now, but thank you for asking. Organic coffee with non-Gary creamer. All right. Stop eating sugar. Yes, that is huge. Roar to you. That is awesome. The only Nana. That's awesome. Stop eating sugar is a darn big deal. Eat more mushrooms. Yes. According to research from Singapore, 2 servings of mushrooms a week can reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease. I think it was 57%, if I remember. It's amazing. Well, I'm not answering questions right now. I'd like to know what you learned and what you're going to do with it. Eating 3 sardines a week. Awesome. Great job. Clean teeth 99. That is fantastic. Chromium picolate. I don't know the data on chromium. Some people say or think that it's good for diabetes. I don't know the research on it. Love mushrooms and drinking oat milk. Great. Roar to you, Comet. Taking liver supplements with iron. for anemia. All right, great job. Cartrophy, strength training, and more than 10,000 steps a day. Awesome, Trace 65 roses. That's fantastic. Ocean favor, yes. So, according to research from Singapore, those who ate 2 servings of mushrooms a week, approximately 2 cups, they had a 57% reduction in the risk of Alzheimer's disease. Karina, I bought Lion's Mane this week and I'm loving it. Awesome. Great job, Karina. You're rocking it. So I just missed a whole bunch of stuff. Added MCT oil to my diet. Awesome. Rochelle, Roar, taking Lion's Mane now. Awesome. Roar to you. You do not need to live to be 80. You can check out whenever you like, Tita. I just hope you enjoy your life and your life is your health span is good. Do I live with my parents? I'm staying with my parents now. My mother is having a shoulder replacement surgery soon, and I will be around. I will be here to help her after her surgery. Help me find Mega Megan. So good. Awesome. Great job. Roar to you. I'm doing coffee with mushrooms. Awesome. Roar to you, Dory. Taking L-tyrosine, NMN, MCT oil, and coffee with fasting. Awesome. How is that going? I bet you that's a ton. I bet you that's really stimulating. L-tyrosine plus coffee plus MCT oil plus NMN. That's a lot of energy stuff. How does that feel, Gladiator, Domina? Would you comment again and let me know how that's going? Love mushrooms. Fantastic. Lion's Mane at night. Great. Monterrey, Mexico. Jackie, reading The Dream Manager. Yes, I love The Dream Manager. That's with Matthew Kelly. Did I mention that book? That's such a great book, Wacky Jackie. I love that book. Congratulations. Isn't it a great idea that having someone in your life to help you achieve your dreams? Portobello mushrooms with deer meat parties. Awesome, Maureen. Fantastic. Intermittent fasting, drinking 2 cups of water in the AM. Wait 2 hours before I have tea. Awesome. Great job, user 25239. Julie, I started taking citrulline to increase nitric oxide for my retinopathy. Great job. How is that going? Happy Mama, take curcumin, MCT oil. What if I want to forget some stuff? Great job. Great job, Happy Mama. Let me know how that goes. Collagen with my coffee. Yes, collagen is great for skin, hair, and nails. Collagen is the most abundant protein type in the body. And research shows that women who take collagen have healthier bones and denser muscles. So great job. Great job. Comment if you'd like to learn about Lion's Mane. I talked about it a little bit at length. You can watch the replay or download my free report on my top 10 supplements. I share what's in there. Very powerful tinctures. Very cool. Started fasting and exercising, taking supplements. Awesome, Simon. Congratulations. Yeah, no, there's not a new drug approved. There's a new drug being researched. It's a new Alzheimer's disease drug by Biogen. We were talking about that earlier, Remy. So on a scale of 1 to 18, it helps half a point in memory. And people are like super damn excited about it. You're growing Lion's Mane. That is awesome, Shonda. Would you take some pictures? Would you send me some pictures on Instagram or something? I want to see that. Hubby started MCT. That's awesome, Dory. Grassroots spun up movements. Health freedom. Yes. Added probiotics to my regimen. Awesome, Lotman. California Farms. Gina. Mega Magnesium. Fasting 15 hours. Awesome. Y'all are totally crushing it. All right, I'm just going to receive that. So if you listen to me, if you either read the responses yourself, let me check YouTube here, see if there's anything else there. Oh, there's a lot of stuff here. Elisa started doing mushroom master blend. Awesome. Diana learned I need to take certain supplements together to be effective. Patrick's adding MCT oil with curcumin. Diana just bought herring and organic veggies and clean chicken. Awesome. Excited to get Lion's Mane and have great dreams. Fantastic. Yeah, Diana, if you take a good Lion's Mane, you will start to remember your dreams, or you're likely to remember your dreams. Awesome. So I want you to, first of all, acknowledge yourselves. It is 10:49 p.m. Eastern time on Friday, and you're here learning about neuroscience, health, longevity, wellness, and listen to all the wonderful people that are taking action based upon science that's going to improve the quality of your life, the quality of your health. This is wonderful. Just really receive that. Receive where you are and who you're with here in this live, the wonderful people taking action. I'm just I'm honored of all the wonderful things that y'all are doing. This is so great. I feel so good with that. Oh, that's fantastic. Great job, everyone. And I want this momentum to keep with you over the weekend. Keep eating clean, taking your supplements. And I really want you to really be prioritizing your sleep. A lot of people have been struggling with sleep, so get your sleep dialed in. And then if you're just joining us and you want to know what all the hubbub is about, I recently talked about a couple supplements that are great for the brain, that improve memory, reduce inflammation, reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease. If you want to download your free copy, it's below my profile. It's my top 10 supplements. Get it there. And I have a masterclass for you. I know some of you have watched it. It's a free masterclass on how to prevent Alzheimer's disease. It's 45 minutes of in-depth science about specific things. All of them are science-backed, about food, about supplements, about diet, about sleep, and things you can do to reduce your risk of Alzheimer's disease. That is below my profile. You can sign up and just enter your name and email, and I'll send you the masterclass, and you can watch that. Please take notes, and that's really valuable, and that's there for you for free as well. Free resources. Okay, great. I want to take a couple more comments here. You are welcome, Maureen. So we've got some questions about black seed oil. And so I'm going to read a couple questions. Thank you, Speed Up. Yes, it's because of me, and I'm here because of you. If y'all weren't here, I probably wouldn't be talking to myself about this. And so I'm grateful I get to be here with you, and I get to spend Friday evening with you, having this conversation with you, sharing some information, and then I love that y'all are taking action. That's just, I mean, someone said something earlier this week. They said, "What do I do if I'm in a high stress job it's really hard on me?" And I said, "Well, if it were me, I would leave that job because it doesn't sound like that job is serving you. I don't think that's what you're meant to do in life. I don't think most of us are meant to do jobs that we don't like, that are really stressful and painful. And I don't think most people do. I think most people, to some extent, enjoy their job somewhat. Even jobs that we might say are low level, like janitors or working in fast food or garbage men. I think there's honor in doing simple work. There's honor in mopping floors. I've done jobs where I've mopped floors. I've worked in restaurants, and I really liked it. And garbage men. What's more important for a society, garbage men or policemen? I would say garbage men. If you want to see riots in the streets, shut off trash service for 2 weeks. Um, Garbage men, garbage women, very, very important to a functioning society. There's honor in that work. And so whatever work you do, I really hope you enjoy it. Or I hope you find satisfaction and meaning in it. It's important to find meaning in our work. And I feel so blessed that I can be here with you, and I can share information that I find very interesting and valuable and useful, and you find it interesting, valuable, and useful as well. And that you are taking it and using it to improve your health and improve your life. That's so deeply satisfying to me that I can do that I can share this information, and that you can then use it to live a healthier life. I feel so blessed and honored. So thank you. I truly feel I feel very grateful and satisfied and just honored that I get to do this. So thank you. All right, let's get to some questions. So we got questions about black seed oil. What's a good book? The Dream Manager is a great book. If you don't have this book, I highly recommend this, The End of Alzheimer's Program by Dr. Dale Bredesen. This book is so awesome. The End of Alzheimer's Program, great place to start. Thank you, Maureen. I feel very blessed. And then I've been reading this. I've been reading this at night. I think that's the wrong time to read this. This is Edgar Allan Poe. I think he died at 36, 37. He lived kind of a miserable life. His first wife died. I think his first wife was actually his first or second cousin. She was 10 years younger than him. She died pretty young. There's thoughts that they never even consummated their marriage. And then he spent the rest of his life never finding another woman that he really loved. And his work, this is great tales and poems of Edgar Allan Poe. His work was really unappreciated in his life, like many geniuses. A great example is Vincent van Gogh or Vincent van Gogh. Artists liked it, but no art patrons liked his work. His brother basically sponsored him his whole life. And when Vincent died, his brother Theo died shortly thereafter. It was Theo's wife that publicized Vincent van Gogh's work. So many geniuses go and appreciate it in their lifetime. When Poe died, people started reading his stuff. They're like, man, this guy's dark, but he's good. And now teenagers really like Poe. Teenagers love Edgar Allan Poe because he's dark and he's sad and he's depressed and nothing's working out for him. And his characters in his books, the Telltale Heart, the story of basically a murder. Um, it's like 4 pages. It's so short, but it's an iconic story in American literature. And then there's a story of killing someone where he like buries him alive in a mausoleum. That story is like 5 pages long. And there's all these like really dark, messed up stories. And I'm reading this before bed, and I think that's a bad idea. But oh, I did want to read this. There's this beautiful poem. Maybe I'll read this at the end. It's called why am I blanking on it? Annabelle Lee. It's this wonderful poem. It's so great. I think I'll memorize this at some point. Annabelle Lee by Edgar Allan Poe is this beautiful poem. So I do recommend reading poetry. Read poetry and read it out loud. It's so fun and interesting to hear poetry read out loud. There's something magical about the sound of the words, because it's not just the words and what they convey. It's the sound of the words. It's really fun in poetry. Also, I love Catch 22. Catch 22 is a book that's great to read out loud because the words are so funny and the sounds of the words are funny. It's not just, ooh, the words are interesting. It's the sounds of the word. Compare that with Stephen King. You do not need to read Stephen King out loud. Stephen King is great for the imagination because he writes in a way that's really simple that allows you to dream the book. A good novel, and women know this better than men because women read more novels than men do. Um, a good book, you actually sit there and you just absorb it and you dream the book, you imagine it. You're not really reading the words, but somehow your mind is taking the words and turning those into pictures in your brain. A really good book does that without actually sitting and fussing over the words. Stephen King does an amazing job with that. Catch 22, on the other hand, you actually want to slow down and hear the words. So those are just a couple books. I don't recommend this one, certainly before bed. Um, it may have messed with my sleep a bit, but I definitely recommend this one for Alzheimer's disease, The End of Alzheimer's Program by Dr. Dale Bredesen. I'm going to reach out to Dr. Bredesen, see if we can get him on the show or if I can interview him. He would be great. Okay, so we got questions about black seed oil. Stephen King is scary. He's got 2 books that aren't scary. One of them's called On Writing, where he describes how to be a writer. He talks about his process. So if you want to be a writer, read On Writing. It's a great book. Number 2, there's the book about Kennedy's assassination. Let me look that up. Stephen King. It's a time travel book. It's really good. It's called 11. It's just the date. Stephen King, Kennedy assassination. It's 11/22/63. That's the novel. It's the date. I'm guessing that's the date Kennedy was assassinated. So just look up Stephen King. He's a great writer. And it's interesting. A lot of teachers who say, oh, Stephen King's a terrible writer. And basically, either they don't understand what good writing is or they're jealous. Stephen King's a great writer in that people like reading his books, and his books are very easily understood and they're very easily turned into movies. And those movies are very successful. And Stephen King was actually an English teacher. He tells a story in his book On Writing. He talks about right before his first hit was Carrie. And Carrie is the story of a teenage girl who has these powers and ends up killing people at the end. And he talks about how he first heard that Carrie was going to be successful. It was going to go into paperback, which at the time meant it's going to be a big seller. And he was getting like this major royalty check. And at the time, he was living in the ghetto, and he was teaching. He was also like working part time at like a dry cleaner or something. He was working his butt off. And he gets this news that he's going to be rich, and he didn't know what to do. And so he went out and he wanted to buy his wife a present, but none of the stores were open. So he went out, and the only thing he could buy was a hairdryer. That was the only thing that he could buy that he thought his wife would like. So his wife comes home, and he just tells her, he's so excited. He's like, "Hey, I'm going to be a rich and successful writer, and here's a hairdryer." It's just a great story. All right, what are the questions here? Lion's mane. Which lion mane is better? I haven't seen great research to show any of them of the difference. What brands do I recommend? If you want to know the brands that I recommend, get my free report. I tell you the brands for specific supplements. The free report's below my profile. Great resource for you. Yoy. Yo. Thank you for the book list. You're welcome. Toya and Brown. So I have a question. So there's a question on YouTube, questions about copper. And so I made a video recently about multivitamins and copper. I don't take multivitamins because they often have too much copper and too much iron. There are some benefits to multivitamins, but I get my stuff really precise. And if all you can afford is a multivitamin and it doesn't have super high levels of iron or copper, that might be fine for you. And you might be okay with the high levels of copper. Too much copper and not enough zinc is a problem. And so you can counter the copper by taking additional zinc supplements, and that could be helpful. So Toya, I'm not sure about the exact amount of copper, but a great way to combat that is you definitely want to take a zinc supplement. Most of us are benefit from a zinc supplement, and zinc is neuroprotective. It protects the brain. Okay, so what are the questions we're going to ask? There's questions about black seed oil. I hear you, Fat Pat. So we have black seed oil, oregano oil. Does a benign brain tumor cause dementia? Probably not, but it might not help. I don't know, Mama. And I'm sure it depends upon which benign brain tumor, right? But let's look that up. That's an interesting question. And then, all right, so we got black seed oil, and then we got oregano oil, and then we'll do one more question. How to raise dopamine. All right, so please vote in the chat. Which one would you like me to address? Black seed oil, oregano oil, or how to raise dopamine? And I'm going to look up benign brain tumor, Alzheimer's. Let's see what we have here. Brain tumor associated with Alzheimer's. So there is a case study of one person who has dementia that they think was due to a brain tumor. Meningioma, MENINGIOMA, a benign brain tumor has been found to cause reversible dementia if it's located in the frontal region of the brain. So this is an example of a benign tumor that can cause, it says temporary dementia, which to me sounds like memory loss, but it might be more complex than that. Probably is. And if it's in a specific part of the brain, it sounds like if it's removed, it goes away. So I gave you the wrong answer. I did not give you a full answer. The answer is a benign brain tumor can cause memory loss or symptoms of dementia, depending on where it is in the brain. So the answer is it depends. All right. So did you all vote? We got black seed oil, oregano oil, or how to increase dopamine. What did we vote? What's the vote here? All right. We got oregano, dopamine, oregano, black seed, dopamine, oregano, dopamine, dopamine, oregano, 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 black seed, dopamine, oregano, or black seed, dopamine, oregano, dopamine, dopamine, black seed, dopamine, oregano, black seed, dopamine, dopamine, black seed, dopamine, oregano. I think dopamine wins. And then on YouTube, we got a black seed and a dopamine, and another black seed. We'll do dopamine first, then do black seed. All right, so here's how to raise dopamine. Here's some supplements that raise dopamine. And by the way, I'm going to share with you a really controversial one. This is specifically for people with Parkinson's disease or at risk for Parkinson's disease. So dopamine is a neurotransmitter involved in focus and basically goal achieving. It's meant to be motivational, but also is like attentional. And dopamine is a precursor to other neurotransmitters involved in memory, like norepinephrine and adrenaline, or also called epinephrine. And so dopamine is really important. Dopamine is what goes off when we see a text or answer a text. And dopamine goes off when we see a sexy human that we're interested in. Dopamine is very involved in our behavior, motivation, and focus. ADHD drugs increase dopamine, for example. And so, some ways to increase dopamine are coffee. Coffee increases dopamine sensitivity in particular. It doesn't increase the amount of dopamine in the brain, it increases the sensitivity and efficiency of dopamine receptors. So, coffee or caffeine is one, caffeine specifically. Number two is L-tyrosine. L-tyrosine is an amino acid that is a precursor to dopamine. A precursor is a building block. And so, in order to make muscle, we need protein because our body takes protein and then turns that into muscle. I think that's how it works. It might be, it's more complex than that. But basically, most people agree if you want to put on muscle, it's a good idea to exercise and eat protein so your body can turn that protein into muscle. If you want dopamine in your brain, if you eat foods that contain L-tyrosine, that is helpful. Foods that contain L-tyrosine are protein. Let me look up the top foods. It's basically meats, but top foods contain L-tyrosine. It's meat and eggs and so forth. The soy products, chicken, turkey, fish, peanuts, almonds, avocados, bananas, milk, cheese, yogurt, cottage cheese, lima beans, pumpkin seeds, and sesame seeds. Other foods, number one on this list is beef, and then pork, and then fish, and then chicken, tofu. By the way, I don't recommend eating soy unless it's organic. Soy in the United States is almost certainly genetically modified and has been sprayed with Roundup or glyphosate, and I don't think you want that. Milk also has some tyrosine in it. I don't recommend dairy for most people. Some people, like Max Lugavere, disagree with me. I found going gluten-free, dairy-free, and basically sugar-free has made a massive difference in my health. It's night and day. Okay, so L-tyrosine. If you want to have a ton of fun, take L-tyrosine with coffee. Oh man, that's a fun dopamine ride. And then number three, this is the controversial one. I talked about this earlier. It's nicotine. Nicotine in the form of either tablets or gum, or a throat spray or mouth spray. Nicotine increases both dopamine and acetylcholine. If you've ever been a smoker before, I smoked a little bit in Las Vegas. Smoking cigarettes plus coffee, there's a reason you'll see a lot of people doing it, because you got two dopamine drugs. You got caffeine, you got nicotine, and when those act together, it's a lot, and it's really enjoyable. And sometimes it can help with productivity or improve mood or what have you. Now, I don't recommend smoking. Please don't smoke. Please don't vape. And if you wanted to increase dopamine and, let's say, reduce usage of amphetamine-like drugs, like ADHD drugs. By the way, I'm not recommending you change your medication. Please consult your medical doctor. Not giving you medical advice. And if you want to taper off your medication, please do that under doctor supervision. Changing psychiatric medication without supervision can be very, very dangerous. Tim Ferriss recently interviewed Harvard psychiatrist talking about this very thing, that changing your medication without supervision is very dangerous. So those are three drugs or supplements that affect dopamine: caffeine, L-tyrosine, nicotine. And if you're gonna do nicotine, start slowly. It's very powerful. Nicotine as a tablet is not super addictive. I don't know a single person that has gotten addicted to nicotine tablets or nicotine gum who was not previously addicted to cigarettes. If that person exists, I would like to meet them. I'd like to talk with them, because I haven't seen any data to show that happens, at least in an adult. It could certainly happen in a child. So if you gave a child nicotine lozenges, are they going to get addicted? Probably. And by the way, it's really despicable that these vaping companies make the vaping oils, taste like candy or bubble gum. That's targeting children, or it certainly makes it very enjoyable to children. I think that's a really bad idea. I don't think we want children vaping or addicted to nicotine. And it's really unfortunate we have companies advertising sugary products and fast food to children in unethical ways, and making vaping products that are targeted toward children, or certainly are very very targeted towards children. Frankly, you don't need to put flavor in your vaping products. Most people vape because they're addicted to cigarettes and trying to get off. Just make the vaping slightly less dangerous than cigarettes, and that should be enough. Okay, so that is that. And then we're going to black seed oil. I don't remember exactly what it does. Let's look this up. All right, so questions about dopamine increasing those drugs and supplements. Patrick, could phosphatidylserine help with effective? So phosphatidylserine increases focus and attention, and that can help for sure. Any questions about the dopamine? Coffee, yes. Make sure you get organic coffee. Coffee is one of those pesticided crops on the planet, second only to cotton, at least second to cotton in the United States. Dairy gluten free, never felt better. Awesome, Kimmy. Can dopamine and testosterone change each other's levels? I don't know. I haven't heard that. They're both involved in motivation. That's interesting. Let's look that up. Can dopamine and testosterone? Dopamine and testosterone, a bidirectional relationship. The relationship between dopamine and testosterone is bidirectional. Dopamine can influence testosterone, and testosterone can influence dopamine. In males, an important area of the brain for both sexual function, an important area of the brain for sexual function is the medial preoptic area. So it sounds like that would make sense because both dopamine and testosterone are involved in goal-seeking behavior. And so, think if two men are going to fight to the death, either over land or property or a woman, that involves goal seeking, which is dopamine, and their testosterone better be high because they're going to be killing somebody. So that's a big deal. So dopamine and testosterone are both involved in goal seeking behavior, certainly in men, I believe also in women. So it makes sense that they would affect each other. As a smoker, don't start. Thank you, Debbie. Any other questions about dopamine? Is coffee good for you? Yes. Coffee is rich in polyphenols. Polyphenols help feed your gut bacteria. That's good. Happy gut, happy brain. And then the caffeine. Caffeine increases dopamine sensitivity. So mucuna purines. Yeah, mucuna purines can increase dopamine. I don't mention them because they have some side effects that aren't great. And L-tyrosine is safer and better. So I don't know why you'd want to do mucuna purines. Andrew Huberman talks about mucuna purines. Let's look at their side effects. Mucuna purines side effects. Mucuna purines side effects may include headache, pounding heart, symptoms of psychosis such as agitation, confusion, hallucinations, and delusions. That sounds a bit intense. That doesn't happen to most people, I don't think. Mucuna purines benefits and risk. They have a fair amount of physical side effects. L-tyrosine can as well. Think of L-tyrosine like 2 cups of coffee. So if you take 500 milligrams of L-tyrosine, expect something like 2 cups of coffee. It could do that. By the way, a great thing to combine with that, if it's too jittery for you, is L-theanine. So if you want that smooth focus, take L-tyrosine with L-theanine, or L-tyrosine plus coffee plus L-theanine. It's great. I had coffee. I had 2 big cups of coffee today, and then some L-theanine. I felt really dialed in. It was terrific. I don't recommend mucuna purines. Essentially, they do increase dopamine, and they have more significant and unpleasant side effects than L-tyrosine. So I would go with the L-tyrosine. Does L-tyrosine raise blood pressure? Likely. Let's check it out. Caffeine does. Caffeine's a vasoconstrictor. So think of your blood vessels like a hose. So caffeine goes like this. It's a vasoconstrictor. It shrinks the blood vessel. And so imagine you have the same amount of blood volume, but you go like this. Now all of a sudden there's higher pressure. Whereas a vasodilator, exercise is a vasodilator. It'll go like this. That reduces blood pressure. So L-tyrosine, I don't know if L-tyrosine affects vasodilation. Is L tyrosine? Let's look up L tyrosine. Vaso vasoconstrictor. Is it vasoconstrictor? L-tyrosine ingestion augmented sympathetically mediated vasoconstriction. So yes, suggestion that L-tyrosine might improve Well, that's actually, it's more complex than that. So L-tyrosine improved vasoconstriction in adults exposed to cold, but so I don't know. It can be in certain circumstances. So potentially, does L-tyrosine raise blood pressure? Does L-tyrosine raise blood pressure? L-tyrosine injection appears to reduce blood pressure. That's not what I would expect. Administration of L-tyrosine to hypertensive rats reduces blood pressure. Mount Sinai Hospital. Tyrosine may cause a severe increase in blood pressure in people taking antidepressants known as MAOIs. So these are not simple answers. I wish I had a simple answer for you. I'm going to look more into this. Someone else, rxlist.com, says research suggests taking L-tyrosine by mouth does not affect blood pressure in patients. So it looks like in rats with high blood pressure, it does. This other one looks like it's an impact. This Mount Sinai article, it's an impact or an interaction with a certain type of antidepressant medication, MAOIs. I think that stands for monoamine oxidase inhibitors. And so it's I'm not getting very, very simple answers here. It doesn't sound like it's a simple answer. So short answer, I don't know. And I don't know. I don't know if there's a straight up answer. Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. I would happily give you a simple answer if I had one. Any other questions about dopamine before we go into black seed oil? L-tyrosine made me crash like burnout fuse, not for some people. Yes, it's not for everyone. Rhodiola and Schisandra increase dopamine. It's the last thing I'll look up on dopamine. Schisandra, like Schisandra berries. Rhodiola, dopamine. I thought rhodiola was related to acetylcholine. This mechanism may be related to its ability to increase the permeability of blood-brain barrier to the precursor dopamine. So rhodiola increases the permeability of the blood-brain barrier for precursors of dopamine, which would be L-tyrosine. That's interesting, or at least that is a precursor. So rhodiola may indirectly increase dopamine activity or dopamine production. 5 ways to naturally boost dopamine. Let's look at this article. Eat lots of protein. There we go. Get enough sleep. There you go. Rhodiola and Schisandra fruit. Schisandra fruit. Interesting. Rhodiola and Schisandra also affect norepinephrine, serotonin, and dopamine. So they affect multiple neurotransmitters. Listen to music. Very interesting. So I've heard this for testosterone. So if you sit and listen to music, I think for 10 minutes and just listen to music, that increases testosterone. Why? Well, because if you are taking 10 minutes of your day to simply sit and listen to music, it shows that you're a powerful person, right? Testosterone increases when we feel powerful. Testosterone decreases when we lose a context or we lose social status. Jordan Peterson talks about this with the lobsters. So if a lobster loses a face-off with another lobster, its neurotransmitters go down. I don't know if it's testosterone goes down, but I think they talk about serotonin going down. But anyway, when we lose competitions, testosterone will go down. This is well studied in sports, so they'll study um, both members of sports teams and fans in the crowd. They'll measure testosterone during and after a sporting event, and based upon win or loss, testosterone levels will increase or decrease. And you'll see this after the Super Bowl, right? The Super Bowl, theoretically, it's the most draining game that you ever can, an extremely exhausting game. And then the winners of the game, they're jumping around, they're partying, they're celebrating. Why? Well, because it's a different experience than losing that game. Winning that game actually gives them energy, probably like very extremely likely increases their testosterone, their dopamine, all their happy hormones. Really cool stuff. So that is that. So if you want to, so listening to music, right? So historically speaking, who was able to sit and listen to music? Well, people who had wealth and luxury, or had, if we're in a tribe, imagine you would have someone play music for you. Well, that's kind of a high status thing to have, or at least you have loving family members who would play music for you. So the ability to sit and listen to music, and even today, that it's like taking the time to meditate. If you take the time to meditate, it means, hey, I'm in control of my life. And it means that I have the ability to turn off the outside world. No one's allowed to contact me now. And I'm taking this 20 minutes for myself, for my mental, physical, emotional health, spiritual health as well. Same deal with music. If I'm going to sit in my chair and listen to music for 10 minutes and not answer texts, not reply to TikTok questions on TikTok or Instagram, it means, hey, yeah, I'm a king. I'm powerful. And so you can do this for yourself. Put your phone on airplane mode, and download some music on your phone. So Spotify is great at this, by the way. I'll probably share this. I'll figure out how to do this. I might do this in one of the videos. I want to share some playlists with you on Spotify that are great, that I've curated. Listening to a great Spotify playlist that you like and doing nothing else. I don't mean cleaning and listening to music, and I don't mean multitasking and listening to music. I mean sitting with your eyes closed, just listening to music. Like that's the thing to do. That's the activity and nothing else. First of all, it's an extremely enjoyable, different activity than listening to music while cleaning. Listening to music with the intention of giving all your attention to it, eyes closed, is an amazing, fascinating, wonderful, beautiful experience. And so that's good. And then telling your mind and your hormones, or your endocrine system, I'm the type of person that can take 10 minutes to listen to music. That's a powerful thing to do. And so I recommend doing that, and then do that sitting in a powerful position, right? Sit up, sit like a king or queen, um, in good posture. Put your arms. You can't see this on TikTok. Put your arms on the armrest. Sit like this, like you're on a throne. Put on some really good headphones, and listen to music. That'll likely increase dopamine, and it does increase testosterone. So those are some natural ways to increase dopamine. So once again, this list, which we've already talked about: eat protein, get sleep. Um, Curcumin increases dopamine. Really, I have to learn more about that. And then listen to music, and then yeah, there we go. Okay, next, black seed oil, and then we are going to sign off. It is 11:30, and I've been working really hard this week. I did a lot of writing. Uh, just just to let you know, yesterday I was working on a big writing project, and today I thought I was going to be sleep deprived. I just wanted to just not break anything today. Have you ever had those days where you wake up, you didn't sleep well? You're like, I just want to not break something today. If I just don't offend people today, if I just don't have if I don't make a terrible mistake today, that'll be good. That was my hope for today. Turns out I slept great, and so I was actually able to get a bunch of stuff done. I put up some Christmas lights. That was really cool. I got a new. I'm taking up the sport squash. By the way, squash is becoming a more universal sport. It's no longer just for the super rich. There are a bunch of squash courts available for people of all economic levels. And squash has recently been rated, it's a racket sport. It's been rated as the number one sport in the world. Here's why. Number one, it involves both explosive movement and endurance. So it's really good for your health. And squash improves, it's good for the mind because it involves hand-eye coordination. And so ping pong, pickleball, tennis, racquetball, squash, these are really good for the brain because of the hand-eye coordination. And it is one of the least likely, you're extremely unlikely to get injured in squash compared to other sports. So it's great for your health, it's good for your brain, and and you're unlikely to be injured. And you can get started for $100. You can buy a racket, and you can buy shoes for $100, and then you can check out a squash club near you, or find a place to play. And so I really recommend exercise for your brain, and squash is a safe, fun, interesting sport that's great for your brain and great for your health. All right. Any squash players? Give me a roar if you're a squash player or if you're interested in squash. It's a great winter sport. It's played indoors. All right, so black seed oil. Flaxseed oil benefits. Oh, let me look up Healthline. By the way, my favorite health resource is Healthline. So I'll type in black seed oil and Healthline, and then it'll come up. Healthline, I like them because they cite their research. They'll say L-tyrosine affects affects blood pressure, and then it'll summarize the study, and then it'll link to the study, so then I can go read the paper. That's really great. I love Healthline. Wish I could show you my screen. At some point, I will be able to do that. Okay. So, black seed oil is known for its benefits for headaches, back pain, high blood pressure, infections, and inflammation. So, just reading that right off the bat, I think if black seed oil is going to have a benefit to the brain, it's likely through inflammation. Now, that can be really good. I love anti inflammatory supplements. Cinnamon, curcumin, lion's mane, all of those reduce neuroinflammation, which is inflammation in the brain. Really darn big deal. Let's keep reading. It also offers science-backed health and beauty benefits. Ooh, beauty benefits. Now, beauty benefits are not just for cosmetic reasons, and they're not just for vanity. The younger we look, the younger we feel. And the younger we feel, the younger we actually are. So there's this great experiment where they had people. Yeah, I'll take the minute to describe this. I was pondering, do I want to share the study? So they had people basically in a nursing home. They covered up the mirrors, and then they played music from their college days. So imagine, so my parents are 70 and 75. My dad went to college in 1969. So let's say the Beatles. So my parents listened to the Beatles growing up, and so if my parents were in a nursing home, they're not, they're in good health. But if they're in a nursing home, cover up the mirrors and play music from the time when they were in college. If you do this and then you don't give them newspapers, you give them newspapers from 40 years ago from when they were in college, and then have television on from when they were in college, basically creating this environment where it was 40 years ago or 50 years ago. They get younger. Literally. They'll have uh, scientists watch them or observers watch them. Their gait changes. Their gait becomes younger. They actually get fewer wrinkles. Like, they'll look at them. They'll take pictures of them before and after the study. They actually get younger living in this environment where they think it's 30, 40 years ago. And I don't know if they did blood markers. You might find less inflammation. Really interesting stuff. So believing that you're young, believing that you're healthy, feeling young and healthy actually makes you healthier and actually makes you younger. And so beauty products that help, let's say, reduce wrinkles. And then you look in the mirror and you look, does that not only does that make you look younger, but you actually look in the mirror and say, "Oh my gosh, I am younger, and I feel good, and I feel happy today." And so, looking young, looking healthy, not only is it nice, but it also helps us feel healthy and be healthier. Backed by science, very cool. All right, so here's some benefits of black seed oil. It may reduce acne. It could help with psoriasis. It sounds like this is topical. Promotes wound healing. Supports hair growth. Really, I want to read more about that. I could definitely use some hair growth. Got the power grooves going on here. All right. It's anti so may support hair growth, antimicrobial, antioxidant. It's used in hair masks and shampoos. So in 90 people, it reduced hair loss in 90 days. Sounds like it doesn't regrow hair, but it may help reduce hair loss. Could aid in treatment of vitiligo. What is that? A disorder, loss of pigment in the skin. Reduces inflammation. Here we go. So this could have multiple aspects of health. According to a review of 10 studies, consuming black seed oil may reduce multiple markers of inflammation while increasing blood levels of antioxidants. Let's read this study. Okay, this is really cool because they cited the study in the paper. Is this interesting? Give me a roar if this is cool. We're kind of going through the research of black seed oil. Let me know if this is helpful. All right. So I'm gonna look at this particular study here. All right. This exact study is called The Effect of Nigella Sativa, which is black seed oil, on biomarkers of inflammation, oxidative stress, a systematic review and meta-analysis. All right, so this is cool. Good. Glad you all like this. All right, so we're going through the data on black seed oil. So this is a meta-analysis. This is an analysis of analyses. So they're looking at 10 different studies. So we're getting a summary of 10 different studies and then see if I can summarize this to you. This looks painful to read. So they looked at 10 studies. They looked at C-reactive protein, tumor necrosis factor alpha or TNF alpha, and superoxide dismutase. By the way, exercise increases superoxide dismutase, which is a cool antioxidant. And doesn't that sound cool? Superoxide dismutase. That just sounds so cool. Okay. Overall, consumption of black seed oil reduced C-reactive protein, tumor necrosis factor alpha, which are both markers of inflammation, and increased superoxide dismutase, which is positive. It's an antioxidant. All right, I'm just reading the abstract. It doesn't tell me how much, but this is a meta-analysis. So based upon 10 other studies, do we know how many people? Sometimes it'll say like the total number of people. These are randomized clinical trials, 10 clinical trials. You're going to give me an N. What's the number of people? All right, so the abstract doesn't tell me the number of people. So looking at this abstract, which is based upon 10 different studies, black seed oil reduces inflammation. Specifically, it reduces C-reactive protein and tumor necrosis factor alpha, and it increases superoxide dismutase, which is really cool. My guess is it may also reduce interleukin 6, IL-6, which is a major marker of inflammation, though I don't see it measured here. Okay, so we can safely say black seed oil likely decreases inflammation. That's good. And that reduces risk of other things that are associated with inflammation. Remember, we talked about earlier, if you've been here for the last hour, we talked about we talked about obesity. Obesity increases inflammation in the body, and curcumin protects the organs from damage from that inflammation. So if you or someone you love is obese, really good idea, consult your doctor first, but really good idea to start taking curcumin. Why? Because it will protect your organs from damage caused by the inflammation from that obesity. Really darn big deal. And curcumin is generally very safe. And we just found out it reduces prostate cancer in men. Very cool. So, anything else? So, it supports weight loss. Those who consume 3 grams of black seed oil per day, that's a lot. 3 grams of black seed per day for 8 weeks and followed a low calorie diet had better results than those who followed a low calorie diet alone. Huh. Another study of 45 women, 2,000 milligrams a day for 8 weeks, decreased appetite and reduced body mass index. So this is worth, let me look at this study. That sounds interesting. So this is the effect of Nigella sativa on appetite, a crossover double-blind placebo-controlled randomized clinical trial. So basically they gave half people black seed oil, half people placebo, and then they switched. So if you got the black seed oil at first, you then, this is the most powerful type of trial to do a crossover where you get both the placebo and the study drug, because you can see what happens in your body when you have the study drug versus when you have the placebo compared to when you just have two different groups. So this could be a really cool study. When is this from? It's from 2020. So this is very recent. 45 women who were overweight or obese, 2,000 milligrams of black seed oil. There's a decrease in appetite. What else? It did help with weight loss. Um, it helped with body mass index, body weight, and waist circumference. Also decreased fat and visceral fat. So visceral fat is the scary fat. Visceral fat is the fat around your belly, which is also kind of around your organs, versus subcutaneous fat, which is kind of the jiggly fat around your butt, and around other places in your body. Belly fat's the most dangerous because it's likely fat around your organs as well. The most dangerous fat by far is liver fat. How do we get fatty liver? Well, you probably already know. Number one, alcohol. Alcohol used to be the only way fatty liver disease. Then, when sugar came along in the 1980s, when we reduced fat in processed foods and substituted in sugar, and a lot of people started eating more sugar and more sodas, we had non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. We had to specify. Now, how does sugar cause fatty liver disease? Well, there's a great podcast on this. It's Dr. Ragnar. He's an Indian. He's Indian by ethnicity. He is British. That's where he lives. He's a medical doctor. He's got a great podcast. I think it's Robert Lustig who he was talking to, and Robert Lustig shared, who's also a medical doctor, that our body processes, our liver processes sugar similar to the way that we process alcohol. And so eating a lot of sugar hurts your liver similar to drinking a lot of alcohol. And this is really sad because we have a lot of young children, mostly lower economic status, mostly poor, and mostly Latino and Black in the United States. So people of color, and these children are consuming high levels of sugar, and they're getting non-alcoholic fatty liver disease at age 10, 12, 14. It's devastating. It's really bad, and it's very sad. So this looks really promising. So this study shows a significant. The finding is very, very compelling. So there's something called a p-value, which basically shows whether or not the results were due to chance or statistically reliable. The p-values are very low. The p-values are 0.001. And so these results are highly significant or highly reliable, and they're all in the predicted direction, and they're all consistent. And so it looks like black seed oil, 2,000 milligrams a day, significantly helps reduce weight and reduce fat, specifically fat around the belly, visceral fat, which is the kind you want to lose first, right? You can want to lose other subcutaneous fat, but you really want to lose the visceral fat. So that's good news. So if you're looking to buy black seed oil, 2,000 milligrams a day, according to this study, is the amount taken to help. And so in this study, they took it for 8 weeks. So if you're going to take here's how I would interpret this. If you're going to take black seed oil with the intention of losing weight, take it for a minimum of 8 weeks. It will likely reduce appetite. We read that earlier. And it can help. We don't know the mechanism. This doesn't say it burns fat. Doesn't say they lost weight because of appetite, or they ate healthier food, or I don't know what. Or maybe it blocked the absorption of carbohydrates or something. You know, I could try to make up mechanisms. I don't know. I don't know why they lost weight and why they burned fat. That it happened. So that's cool. So black seed oil, 2,000 milligrams a day. Let's just go online. Let's see what the usual size is of black seed oil. So sometimes supplements don't sell for high enough amounts. Okay, so here's a black seed oil, 1,000 milligrams. This one's 1,000 milligrams. Some of them are just selling the oils. Some of them are selling them as pills. So if you want to do this the right way, 2,000 milligrams. There we go. Black seed oil, 2,000 milligrams. Is that the same company? No, it's a different company. I don't know what a good company is on this. I haven't taken it. I haven't tried it out. There's a company that I like that's selling this. They're called Nature Bell. I like their quercetin. Their supplement has 1,000 milligrams, so you'd want to take a double dose if you want to take it 2,000 milligrams. Okay, so everyone got your black seed. So we didn't even get to Alzheimer's disease yet. Let's keep reading. So here's what we've done. We've gone on healthline.com, or I've gone on healthline.com. I've looked up black seed oil, and I've read several papers in the article that the article links to, talking about the benefits of black seed oil. And we found that it reduces appetite, or no, excuse me. Uh, we find out about hair loss. It slows down hair loss, and it does reduce inflammation. Right, we found it does reduce inflammation. It reduces tumor necrosis factor alpha and C-reactive protein, and it increases superoxide dismutase. So it has some positive benefits inside the body. It supports weight loss, improves blood sugar control, may reduce eczema, can help prevent metabolic syndrome. I don't see anything about memory. Oh, that's a bummer. Let me search for Alzheimer's disease. By the way, you can sign up for Healthline and get their newsletter too. They have good stuff. So Alzheimer's is mentioned because of the antioxidants, though there's not great data to show that Alzheimer's disease is um, related to antioxidants. I don't think it's harmful. David Sinclair talks a lot about this, how they don't help with aging. So what else we got? Certainly the inflammation. The inflammation is what I would think, right? When we first looked at this, I said the inflammation, I think that's the key mechanism. And the weight loss, certainly, right? So if someone's diabetic or pre-diabetic, diabetes significantly increases the risk of Alzheimer's disease. And so if someone can lose weight, huge, huge bonus. That's a great way to reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes, is losing weight. And so if you're burning fat with black seed oil, that could be a real big deal. So that's the link with the brain. So it looks like black seed oil does a couple things. It reduces inflammation. That's a damn big deal because inflammation increases the risk of many chronic diseases. Most diseases and deaths in the United States are preventable. They're preventable because they're from an exorbitant lifestyle of a ton of food that is unhealthy for us and that causes inflammation. And so we are over we overeat in the United States, and that's increasing the risk of diabetes, heart disease, and cancer, and Alzheimer's disease, to name a few. Those are the big killers as we age. The big killers are heart disease and cancer and dementia by far. And diabetes increases the risk of all of these. And so black seed oil could be helpful in reducing the inflammation and protecting the brain. That's damn cool. And number two, it can help with weight loss. That's also really cool. So there you have it. Black seed oil looks really promising. And there's a couple of I don't have a brand to recommend to you. I would if I had one. I haven't tried any of these. I do like one of these brands because I get their quercetin. It's called Nature Bell. I don't know if seed oil is good. I'm guessing it is because I like the company, and generally a good company is consistent, but I don't know that. I also don't know if it's better to get it as a pill or to get it as an oil. I don't know. Fish oil I like as the liquid, but some people like the pills better. And so I don't have a good answer for you. It's likely easiest if you get it as a pill because pills are just easier than trucking around liquids. All right. Any questions about black seed oil? You sent one of my videos to my entire family. Awesome. I hope they do it. You got the supplements. Great. Let me know how that goes. Spirulina is great. I like to add spirulina to my smoothie. Thank you, AAAAA. I appreciate that. You're going to add that in too. Great. Yeah, I'm going to order some. I'm going to try it out. Colloidal silver seems to be beneficial for the immune system. So this is the first time that I've really kind of done kind of research with you. So how was this experience? Was it too slow? Was it interesting? Because you're not able to see what I'm seeing. I'm kind of trying to read the data and then repeat it to you as I'm doing it. Um, how was that? It was great. Thank you, Spencer. Very educational. Loved it. Loved it. Anyone not love it? Was it too slow for anyone? Super interesting. Just right, like the way it was. Okay, great, fabulous. It was fine. Informative, wonderful, good. Thumbs up. Okay. Blanco, no. Is that a no to was it too slow, or was that a no that you didn't like it? Helpful and enjoyable. Jackie, interesting. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you for putting your name. Very informative, very detailed. Nice to hear. What did you do? Just joining? I read through. I took about 15 minutes to read through some detailed information about black seed oil. So I basically did the research with you here online, which was fun because I didn't know much about black seed oil. I think I'd read somewhere that it reduced inflammation, and I kind of just passed it off because I hadn't read the data and seen how convincing it was. It's really convincing. There's really good data on it. There's not good data on Alzheimer's disease. We don't have that yet. That would be a worthwhile study to do either a double blind study or do a crossover study on dementia and see if it improves memory. Any complaints about what we just did of going through the data together? I do take omega-3s. I take fish oil. You just bought some. All right. Did I miss the live? No, Don, you're here. You're on the live. What are the 3 supplements for Alzheimer's? You got here late. So first, if you're just arriving, seems like a bunch of people are just arriving. I recommend getting my free report, my top 10 supplements that are good for the brain. And that is available below my profile, available for free. It's the second link. It says top 10 supplements. Just enter your name and email, and I send you the free report. And then you have it. You have my top 10 supplements, not just 3. And I give you the names of the companies, the brands, why I like them, why I take it, the mechanism, if you want to know the mechanism, and then where to buy it. And so that's got all the information in it for you. Specifically, we talked about curcumin, cinnamon, and lion's mane. And more recently, I went into dopamine and L-tyrosine, as well as we kind of did a deep dive on black seed oil. That was really fun. That was great. And I learned some cool stuff. We're definitely going to do more of that. That's great. I love your education. Thank you. I got educated too. That was super great. All right. So that is all I have for you today. And you're awesome. It's 11:47, and some of you have been on here for 2 hours or an hour and a half, and we're talking about science, and you're taking positive steps to improve your life and improve your health, and that's just wonderful. And I want to let you know that I have a bunch of that I want to be helpful to you um, as you move forward in your quest for optimal health. So first, in my profile, um, Linktree, why are you making me log in? Why is this hard? Sorry, just a moment. I'm trying to log into my Linktree so I can see the order of these things. So the first one I'd recommend is what I just shared, the my top 10 supplements. Free report, my top 10 supplements. It shares with you what I take, the brands that I take, where to buy them, and why I take them. That's a free resource, and then I give you permission to share that or send that to whomever you'd like. I just want you to have that information, make good decisions. Someone's mentioning on YouTube how she bought a bunch of the supplements. And so I'm just trying to make this super easy for you and let you know what I take, why I take, and where to get it. I don't have any relationships with those companies. I will let you know when I do. I'd like to. I mean, I'm telling people about their products, but I don't have a financial relationship with that company. So that's the first free report. The second free report or the second free offer is my free masterclass, How to Prevent Alzheimer's Disease. It's a 45-minute masterclass. I go into supplements, diet, nutrition, food, sleep, behaviors, all these things. And I do it in a really quick way. So I cover a lot of ground in 45 minutes, and that's a free masterclass, and that's there for you. And just sign up and register, and you can watch that, take notes. That's a great starting point if you are concerned. If you've recently lost loved ones, or you had loved ones who had Alzheimer's disease, you're concerned about it, you want to take action. This is a great first step. It's totally free. You can watch it as many times as you like, and it's a bunch of information for you. So that's my free masterclass, How to Prevent Alzheimer's Disease. All of these are under my link tree on TikTok. So my YouTube folks, if you go to my TikTok profile, there's a picture underneath my profile. Click there. These free offers are there. And then for those of you who are interested in losing weight and keeping it off, if you'd like a free weight loss roadmap. This is only for those who are committed to weight loss and you want to lose 20 pounds or more, and you've tried dieting and things haven't worked for you long term, but you're ready to try something different that's actually going to work and be sustainable. If that sounds like something you want, you can schedule a free weight loss roadmap blueprint with a certified weight loss coach. There's no charge to the session, and you can apply for one of those calls. Chad only had 16 slots available per week, and he's opened those up to us, for those who qualify. And please show up for your call. He mentioned some people didn't show up, and I was really disappointed because I've tried to make it clear that these calls are really valuable because there's only 16 and there's 180 of you on the live right now. And so if you're going to sign up, please show up for your call if you do it. And there's no charge for the call. If you want to sign up for his program, there is a cost to that. And Chad is wonderful. He's been in the weight loss business for over 27 years, 27 or 28, and he has had zero refunds. Zero people have asked for a refund. That's how damn good he is. I mean, that's amazing. 28 years in business, no refunds. He gave one refund to someone who was a pain in the ass. He said, look, here's your money back. I don't want to work with you. Only one. That's amazing. I'm surprised he hasn't had more of that. But listen, he's really good. He knows his stuff. His coaches are excellent. If you're committed to weight loss, you can go and sign up for a free weight loss roadmap and apply there. Next, I am doing a study. I would love your help. Just 5 minutes. If you could just take 5 minutes and help me out here, that'd be really great. I'm doing a study on risk factors associated with Alzheimer's disease and memory loss. If you just click the link in below my link tree, it says a 5-minute Alzheimer's research study free. And this is all below my profile on TikTok. If you just click that and then answer a couple questions, that'd be super helpful. It asks for your email at the beginning to make sure that people aren't taking it twice. Enter whatever email you want. I don't need your email. It's not attached to anything. I just do that because I don't want the same person taking the test multiple times. But please do that. And then if you want to be a Patreon patron of the show, of the channel, of the Lion's Den, if this is helpful to you, you'd like to be a financial patron, that would be wonderful. It's only $3 and change a month if you want to do it. And when you become a patron, I share with you where I get aniracetam. Aniracetam is a supplement or a pharmaceutical that has shown to improve memory in healthy adults, and it helps slow down the progression of dementia in those with early stage Alzheimer's disease. I took it 3 days this week when I was doing a lot of work. It's great. It improves mood. It may even fight depression. It's awesome. Some people have had trouble finding it. You can find it online. And if you want to know where I get mine, I share that. I only share that inside to Patreon members because I want to make sure that they can buy it. If I share it on the live, things will sell out. We sold out my favorite fish oil on Amazon. Now I can't get my favorite fish oil on Amazon anymore because y'all bought it. So I put that in the Patreon, and then I'm going to share my my immune boosting supplements there as well before I publish those. So that's Patreon. And then there's the long haul virus masterclass. So some of you have had long haul virus and are experiencing brain fog, and I'm very sorry that you're experiencing that. That sounds very challenging, and it's probably scary. There are things that you can do to reduce brain fog and reduce the challenges of long haul virus. Dr. Linnell King, who is a very intelligent, very handsome doctor from Johns Hopkins, and I keep on saying he's handsome. Sign up for the master. Good looking man. You can sign up for his masterclass and watch that for free. And I think it's a 5-part masterclass where he goes through what to do to help with long haul virus. So if you know someone who has long haul virus, it looks like 1,000 people over 1,300 people have clicked on that link. I hope you all have signed up because that's just free information on long haul virus. And if you're committed to bouncing back from that, that's there. So all that's below my profile. All of that is free. There's no charge to any of that. And then some of you have been asking for supplements for Christmas, things to, or the holidays, things to buy for people. Great deals. I'm going to put some stuff together for you. I haven't put it together yet. I will there. And just to let you know, if I'm going to put stuff for sale in my link tree, I will likely be I will have a relationship with that company. So I will likely be making money off of those sales, to be totally transparent. I'm not, I am with Chad Tackett, but none of the other things have money associated with them. But when I do put something for sale in my link tree, I'm financially motivated for you to buy it. I want you to know that that's happening. And when it's not there, I try to tell you that I'm not associated with the company. So I want to just be transparent about that. Okay. Any good questions? Which fish oil do I use? I think it's called Pure something. I would recommend Nordic Naturals at this point because the fish oil that I have, you can't buy it anymore. Patreon, not patriotic. Patreon. Patreon, think patron. It's a way for you to be a patron of me and what I'm doing here. So think about being a patron of the arts. So that painting behind me, that painting, I actually know the patron who commissioned that piece of art. And so that used to be how artists would do work. They would have a patron who would pay them money and they would do paintings. I don't do paintings. I do this. I do videos and I do lives and I share information that some people find valuable and helpful. And I think some of you find it entertaining because you're coming here night after night and spending your time here doing this instead of watching movies, pornography, video games, and television. So this is great. And so if you'd like to sponsor this, you can become a Patreon patron and you can sign up for whatever level you like. You can do $100 a month. You can do $3 a month. And that's really helpful to me. That provides me with some consistent income so I can spend more time doing this. That's what Patreon is. All right. So everyone able to access the free report, the free masterclass, and the study. Let me know if anyone's having trouble. So if you want to know what supplements I use, Fat Pat, and get my free report. Why and the FDA is not happy with aniracetam. It's a pharmaceutical that they're not kind of in charge of. They don't like it. The painting is amazing. I agree. Go to the link tree. It's there. Do you recommend? I love Andrew Huberman. Does he have a sleep cocktail? I take a B complex. Thank you. I try to be very honest. Hugh chocolate. Yes, love it. And sardines. Great. You can't find aniracetam. So keep looking or become a Patreon sponsor. Those are the shortcuts. Yeah, Nordic Naturals, great. The fish oil I use is sold out, but Nordic Naturals is one I would recommend. Mystic, please please don't ask the same question over and over again. I appreciate that you want to know which fish oil. I do a bunch of videos on fish oil. If you watch my videos on TikTok, you will see me hold up the fish oil multiple times. It's not a secret. It's not a good brand as far as a name because I don't remember it. Right? If it was a good, if it was really good, it'd be like rock solid fish oil. I'd be like, oh, it's rock solid fish oil. Totally. I know that brand, but I'm going to look it up. I don't want in my Amazon with fish oil. This might be in the free report. I don't remember. Nature Force Pure Omega 3. So Natural Force Pure Omega 3. So that name just doesn't stick in my head. But that's the one that I got. I had it on auto delivery, and now they told me they can't fulfill my auto delivery because they sold out. So I don't think you can buy it. But that's the one that I have. That's the one in my videos. Natural Force Pure 3 Omegas. I would recommend getting Nordic Naturals because they actually have that one. Awesome, Jennifer. So apply for a free weight loss strategy session or weight loss call with Chad Tackett and his team. D. Shelton, also, if that's what you're into, give it a shot. Kiss your hair goodbye. No, don't do that. So a lot of people post about weight loss. So apply there. There's probably less than 16 spots at this point. Thank you for all the info about the study. You're welcome. How much do genetics play a role in Alzheimer's disease? About 20%. 80% is in your control. 20% is determined by genetics. All right. Anybody have trouble accessing the stuff in the link tree? Everyone know where to get the free reports and to apply for the free strategies, the free weight loss roadmap? Everyone got your stuff? What brand of Lion's Mane? Get the free report. Tell you all that stuff. Free reports under my profile. Andrew Huberman sleep cocktails, magnesium threonate, apigenin, and L-theanine. I don't do apigenin. I do magnesium and L-threonine. Thank you, Mystic. I understand. And krill oil. Krill oil is great. I don't know about salmon oil. I assume that's pretty good. We don't have good data on cannabis. How do I become a patron or Patreon? So go to my Patreon link and then sign up. You have burpless fish oil. Awesome. Lion's mane coffee. That would be cool. Website for aniracetam. So I don't share that because I don't want them to sell out because I want to continue to buy it. If you want to know where I get mine, you can become a Patreon patron or keep searching online. If you search buy aniracetam United States, it should come up. Mystic, what test are you referring to? So MCT oil versus powder. Powder is easier on the stomach, but they both have the same benefits. Okay, any other questions? Everyone able to access this stuff? Curcumin, I would do a supplement. It's just easier to take every day. So, Danny French, are you just popping on to the podcast? Are you just popping on to the Lion's Den right now? Just joined. What are we talking about today? I would recommend go to YouTube and watch the replay. I'm just finishing. I'm just answering some final questions, Mystic Messenger. And you can watch the whole thing on YouTube for free at your convenience. We've been talking about Alzheimer's disease, supplements, and we even went into black seed oil. Danny French, you too. Also, if you want to watch a masterclass on how to prevent Alzheimer's disease, that is below my profile picture. So go ahead and you can sign up for free for that. Mystic, I take those supplements separately. So I want to make sure I'm getting enough curcumin. Okay, so everyone's able to access the free reports and stuff below my profile. Yes? Yes, if you are at risk for Alzheimer's disease genetically, you can definitely stop it and prevent it. Absolutely. Get the book, The End of Alzheimer's, Bredesen, and sign up for my free masterclass on how to prevent Alzheimer's disease. That's a great place to start. Okay, awesome. I would love to know what you're going to do to promote optimal health this weekend. So just drop that in the chat. What are the great things that you're up to? Let me check on YouTube here. Thank you. You're welcome. Good. Totally. Nice. Thank you. You are welcome, Patrick. All right. So let me know what you are doing this weekend to get healthy, stay healthy. Yeah, Mystic, if you're high risk for dementia, I would definitely get a specific supplement, curcumin supplement. All right. Jules is going to exercise. What should we do? What should we take to prevent Alzheimer's? Dana, are you pretty new to the channel? Is this your first time? Have you watched any of my videos or watched any of my lives? You're gonna walk. Great, great, great. Good dogs. Rest and exercise. Excellent, Don. A magnesium threonate, it crosses the blood-brain barrier. The professor, if that helps. Buying organic blueberries. Excellent, Fat Pat. Flaxseed oil has healthy fats in it. So hoping to sleep this weekend. Well, Julie, I hope you do more than sleep. So Dana, if you watch some of my videos, so what have you learned, and what are you able to take action on? Are you going to exercise? Are you going to improve your sleep? Are you going to take a curcumin supplement? Are you going to reduce your stress? Boo, let me know how that goes. I love celery juice. It's made such a difference for me. Eat more bean salad with MCT oil. Awesome, Marine. Karina, strength training, lion's mane dark chocolate. Awesome. Magnesium glycine exercise. Awesome. Y'all are crushing it. What else? What else are you going to do this weekend? Gym and listening to music. Fantastic, Farah. Go for a short walk. Excellent. Hiking. Gonna walk. Do I have the same handle on YouTube? Yes, the exact same handle. Robert WB Love. Ski. I'm 17. My grandmother had it and passed away. Just understanding what it is because I'm scared. If you're 17 and you're taking action now, you will be fine. By the time you are at risk for Alzheimer's disease, which we'll say is in 50 years, let's say 30 years, we'll have a much better understanding. I don't think you're at risk for Alzheimer's disease unless you are obese or type 2 diabetic, or you've had multiple traumatic brain injuries, or you've been exposed to heavy metals. So, um, I would not worry about Alzheimer's disease. I think a greater concern for you is going to be obesity and heart disease because of the food that is in our food supply right now. I think Alzheimer's disease by the time you're 50 is going to be very well understood and almost gone. Gone to the people who are willing to make the dietary changes. Ask for print of exercise for physical therapy. Awesome. Can't digest well, must drink food. Ensure so full of sugar. Do you have any recommendations? Yeah, get a good blender and make smoothies, like a Vitamix or a Ninja. I know they're expensive. It's worth it. Yes, I like Wyman's blueberries. Hugs are good. Yes, getting lots of hugs. Also call someone, tell them you love them. I forgot to do this. Just expand your network and not expand your network, but reinforce your social network and call someone you know and love and say, "Hey, I miss you. I love you. I hope you're well." That's it. You can continue to talk to them, but just send that out. I had someone I was going to call and I totally forgot. Actually call them. Don't just text. Call them. Mystic, I'm happy to talk about my passion. Now is just not a good time. I'm trying to go to bed. NutriBullet. Sunshine. Yes, get sunshine. Thank you so much. Needed that. Excellent. Christmas decorations. Excellent. Brand of Lion's Mane. I get my free report. I tell you which brands. I tell you all the brands and where I buy them and why I take them. Excellent, Eldora. Sunshine. Absolutely. Fantastic. All right. So have a wonderful weekend. Please get your exercise, get your sleep, get your sunshine. Continue doing the great things that you're doing. And I truly honor you. This is a really fun live. How long have we been on? We've been on for 2.5 hours. Holy crap. Wow. Time really flies when you're having a great time. And I love doing that black seed oil research with you. That was super fun. Really got here. So if you're just joining us, we had a great live talking about healthy supplements for the brain, the new Alzheimer's drug from Japan, and black seed oil. If you'd like to watch it, the replay is on YouTube. It'll be available now. And same name on YouTube, Robert WB Love. Please follow me on Instagram at Robert WB Love. You can send me a message there as well. I get most of those messages and I respond to as many as I can. Um, and I also post other content there as well. Please continue living the good life. And then please tell friends and family about the wonderful things that you can do to improve your health, improve your brain, and reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease. It's backed by science. There's many wonderful things you can do. And get your sleep this weekend. And yeah, spend some time with family and people you love. Life is about love and it's about relationships. And so make sure to spend some time with. I love you. God bless you. I will see you on Monday. Good night.